in the history of M Series. No host country has ever won the championship title. No other region has ever claimed the throne. No team has ever secured the championship twice. In this thrilling showdown, 16 teams across the world have gathered once more to seize the trophy. Which teams will prove themselves in their epic rivalry rematch? Will a new region unveil their strength and climb to the top? And who will leave an unforgettable mark with their skills? Behold, the old guards, seasoned titans returning to reclaim glory.
Tahu jangan. Пуел, Клангдингмон.
Судьба будет в наших руках.
The newcomers, eager to forge their legacy.
Kita di sini untuk lawan yang terbaik. Kami nggak takut tantangan apapun.
Emerging from the ashes, the rising stars are vying for the spotlight.
Kita orang dah tunggu lama untuk momen ni.
This is our time. It's now or never.
Enter the contenders, here to defy the status quo and rewrite the narrative.
We've weathered the storm. This is where we break through.
Nós somos brasileiros e a gente não desiste nunca.
The Kings, legends in their own right, descend to defend their crown.
Kita sudah merasai kemenangan. Ini saatnya kita menguasai dunia.
Naitaas na namin ang kampeonato at itataas ulit namin ngayon.
Babawiin namin ang corona para sa aming hari at reyna.
Get ready as the stage is set for the most dynamic championship of the year. It all begins here. It's time to see who will be better than great.
Hey everyone, I'm Reptar and I am one of your hosts for the M5 World Championship Group Stage, and I'm incredibly honored to open up the 5th iteration of our annual celebration. And I just hope that you're bracing yourself, and I know that you're excited because after striving for glory, joining the fight to becoming an immortal hero, rising to the top, and daring to be great, we promise you, this time it's gonna be better than great. Now, along with being treated for more than 2 weeks of awesome MLBB action from the world's best teams, I'm also looking forward to giving you a glimpse of the signature and patented Filipino hospitality. Pretty sure when you talk about the Philippines or when you hear about the Philippines, you know hospitality because we love welcoming our guests. We love to give them one hell of an adventure, unforgettable memories that they can bring back home, and experiences that will make you want to come back for more. And that's why we're also regarded as some of the best esports fans in the world. We bang our drums until our hands can't do it anymore. We let out every ounce of wind that we've got just so our teams, your teams, can hear our support for them. Here's an example. All right, think about it like this. Someone gets a really awesome kill. All right. Okay, let's do another one. Someone's making like Soren and spamming those teepees. What if a Filipino team won their match? All right, let's get a Super Marco version of that woo in 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. By the way, that is the awesome men and women that make our wonderful production team. Okay, but you know, me telling you about all of this is another thing. Being able to see it, feel it, and being able to savor it yourself is a whole nother thing. So let's cut to the chase and allow you to experience it for yourself here in the Philippines and here for M5, all right? All right, Pilipinas! And to everyone around the world, I welcome you to the M5 World Championship! Starting today, history will be made as 16 teams from all around the world, all around the globe, embark on their journey towards being immortalized as the 5th Mobile Legends Bang Bang World Champions. It's the survival of the fittest who will shine in the M5 group stage. For the first time in a long time, teams will be going home before we proceed to the knockouts. So, Pilipinas, pakita natin sa buong mundo ang ating mahal para sa Mobile Legends! And that's just a glimpse. That's just day one. Because, folks, it's time to find out who will shine in the group stage as we become better than great!
The first match of the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M5 World Championship group stage is about to begin. Getting here together with Leo as well as Wolf to bring you the fated best-of-3 series between the hometown champions AP Bren and the Myanmar's Burmese Ghouls.
M5 is powered by Moonton, presented by Kadia, and supported by ROG, the official gaming phone, Grab, the official Super App partner, and Secret Lab, our official chair partner.
Thank you to all of our lovely sponsors. M5 will not be possible without you.
And a special shout out to our global presenting partner, Kadia. Kadia is a giga project, a city that is being built in Saudi Arabia. It is the future of capital of esports, sports, and culture.
Kadia aims to change the world of gaming and esports. Don't forget to follow at Kadia Gaming on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Stay tuned to their social media pages to find out more about this giveaway.
And that's not all. Weekly Diamond Pass is currently all the rage. Get 100 diamonds upon the purchase and log into the game continuously for the next 6 days to receive an additional 120 diamonds.
It's a surefire win, and don't be like us. Don't miss out.
We've missed out way too many already,
Yeah, exactly.
So get ahead of the curve. But with that being said and all the housekeeping done, I cannot wait for this very first matchup here in this best-of-3 series. Remember, we're in the group stages, so a lot of things can be a little interesting considering that the meta has been shifting so very often and, more importantly, evolving.
And I believe that the stats from the
I gotta follow the sentiment, man. I hope both of these teams make it through.
All right, it's as if it wasn't enough that we're throwing back to 3 years ago. Now you have to tell me they traveled almost 30 hours. That's a day and a half, no sleep, just to compete.
I don't know what to feel now, actually. It's left hand, I want to win. I want Burmese Ghouls to win. Right hand, I'm obviously AP Bren. I want him to win too.
It's crazy, but it's time for these matches to start. And thankfully, we have our marshals to make sure everything goes smoothly. To officiate the M5 World Championship, we have our marshals making their way onto stage. They're here to ensure the fairness and integrity of our games. Our first responders to tech issues. It's going to be Ivan, Shun, Wilbert, and Rain. Thank you so much for your contribution.
I'm still not over it.
I'm trying to hold myself together, man.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry. As opening
Oh,
the
no.
M5 World Championship group stage will be none other than the host country's champions, The Bees have been buzzing all year, and they'll be continuing to buzz as they make their way to the World Championship stage. Make some noise for AP Bren!
The home court advantage, it's here and you feel it, you see it, but now all their opponents coming in.
Going up against the hometown heroes are the delegates of Myanmar. Against all odds, they made their way into the Philippines to realize their fated rematch. They are the Burmese Ghouls!
They overcame the best as well in their region, and now they're in the Philippines after going through so much. And I can say that as a fan, you know, of the esports, you want to root for this team too.
I can't help but root for them, but instead of the brawn, let us introduce the brains of both of these teams. For the side of AP Bren, it's Coach Ducky as well as Bren. For the side of the Burmese Ghouls, it's Coach Lin as well, Lin Daddy, and as well as DJ. These are the men who are going to be arming their players for this fated rematch.
AP Bren got their master tactician and the muscle with the brains going up against Lin Daddy, the villain. I actually watched their tournaments in addition to that qualifiers, and boy oh boy, I met him. He's far from a villain. He's a great guy.
A great guy. Like, you remember what happened during the grand finals of AP Bren, going up against Blacklist International with Super Marco, Kaltizi, Flaptizi, Few, and Ogwin. There was one part of the playoffs and the grand finals where you can say that, oh my goodness, this team figured out Mobile Legends. Because they were very dominant. The way that they're drafting is actually pretty unique from other teams in the Philippines. That's why there was so many credit that was given to Coach Bren, because he was able to kind of unleash the full potential of these players.
I mean, they may be tried and tested, but let's not forget about the Burmese Ghouls with Stitch, Nico, Carbon, as Lena, as well as Blinkex. I think that this team, especially considering the competition, the veterancy of their competitions on their side of the world, it's kind of crazy that they came up on top to have this match again.
There's something in the water in Myanmar. The Burmese just create athletes like no other. I'm looking at Stitch, man. Stitch is a star player for the Burmese Ghouls. If they need damage, they need someone to hunker down, go into the mid to the late, no matter what's happening elsewhere, you look at Stitch.
He's the guy. He's the guy you want to rely on at the end of the day. Personally, for me, I can't wait to see what that mid lane matchup is going to look like, but that's not all. Even in the gold lane, we still have some pretty exciting things. Considering where the meta is right now, I think draft is going to be so very important.
Yeah, and I think that we can look a little bit onto the wild card stage with their hero picks, but at the same time, you cannot rely heavily on the other choices. For example, there are many pocket strategies that came out from the wild card. Now that you are playing a best-of-3 series in a group stage for the M5 World Championship, where the bottom two teams will be taken out, how do you decide even? Do you go for pocket strategies, or do you go for just the comfort pickups? I think at least for Bren Esports, what they do usually in these elimination kind of quote-unquote elimination matches, they just rely on what works, you know?
I mean, a lot of things could go into the works, but before we get deeper into what considerably should be the meta or what could be the meta, I want to know just a rough idea of where everybody's standing. I hate to put you guys in these types of positions, but we've got to have a little bit of a quote-unquote prediction game going on here. Is the curse real? Is it not real? Let's start here. Wolf,
oh my goodness.
I'm guessing. I'm just going to make a fast prediction. I'm guessing you're with AP Bren, and same goes for you, Leo, right?
Yeah, but after watching that video...
Come on.
Before watching the video, it was 2-0, let's just say. Then, after watching the video, okay, 2-1. Let's give it to AP Bren.
Man, I was born in this position. I embrace whatever it is I have, a curse, a blessing, whatever we got. I'm just here to watch some Mobile Legends, but yes, you're right. I see this going no other way except for AP Bren.
I thought you were gonna cop out.
Hey, no, if the Ghouls can surprise us, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm also here for it too. And honestly, I think this is a really good litmus test. And before I go even further, I also was predicting and leaning into the favor of AP Bren. They look above and beyond for a lot of these teams, which is going to be pretty exciting. So I really think that homework needed to be done with the considerable amount of VODs that we have seen thus far. I think the Burmese Ghouls have taken full advantage of it.
Yep, the Burmese Ghouls, the sample size for what we know of them is relatively small, even for those who are in the know. Word on the street is they're very selective about who they scrim with. So they are protecting the information, they are protecting what hero pool and what strats they have. AP Bren, though, they're an open book. AP Bren has been all around the world winning championships left and right, and it's these 5 men, nay, 8 when you count Pando and of course the coaches that have gone around the world and have shown that, hey, this is our brand of MLBB, you better be ready.
You know what I am always surprised about, like Burmese Ghouls and their region, is that they, like, I think you mentioned this, that they produce warriors, they produce players that you will be always surprised when they perform internationally. I remember in Southeast Asian games, they almost, I think they should have gotten the, I think they could have, could have gotten the silver medal.
Phrasing.
Phrasing. But yeah, I mean, imagine how good they were during that series versus the Philippines, right?
Yep.
And then, if you think about it, they're just the second placers of their MPL, right?
It's one of those things where you're trying to judge the power of these teams, but then when you start considering these X factors, right?
Yeah.
The adaptability, how
Yeah.
quick these athletes look to learn, and
Yeah.
understanding habits inside and outside of the game, it's hard to kind of put them on the scale.
Yeah, I wanna interview these guys because I don't know how they actually produce good talent without, you know, big international experience.
With that being said, it is time to start our best of 3 series as we jump into the drafting phase to kick things off here at the M5 World Championship group stage. We've even got the graphic for it.
Oh, Yuzhong's been everywhere. From Kuala Lumpur down to Malaysia and here in Manila. Let's go!
Ooh, the hype is real. Okay, so AP Bren banning out the Bruno immediately.
Oh, they know. They know about Stitch.
Yeah, I would say that there are 2 big gold laners. That's Bruno as well as the 1-1. Bruno is like the easiest to kind of execute because in a way it kind of fits into any kind of lineup. 1-1 is a very strong hero though, given in the right conditions. But you kind of want to draft around it. You want to take care of it. Bruno is readily self-sufficient. It's a one-size-fits-all kind of marksman.
One of the things that I have been relatively curious of, especially once we're getting into the what we like to call tournament or international meta, is how we expect these things to evolve. We expect that these teams are going to be playing towards their identity for the group stage, but as soon as it's crunch time, I'm expecting them to adapt fast.
Phobius. So it's either the 1-1 or the Nolan that Coach Ducky wants to pick up for their first pick, or Coach Bren, whoever is the drafter for the final decision for AP Bren. And why do I say that? Because they banned the Phobius. And we know that they have the first pick. You have both the Nolan as well as the 1-1, and they kind of put Burmese Ghouls in a trap where they can only ban one of those 2 heroes.
Yep. They're basically open forting. It's do or die.
Yep.
Damned if you, damned if you don't. You let something through, and you can only really do one thing, Lin Daddy. What's it gonna be?
Let's find out here. Coach Ducky is going to make the next ban actually happen, and it looks like they've already confirmed it. It's going to be Farmis. Rather interesting here. So we're already seeing setups for potentially Nolan, but I'm curious whether they want to go with something a little bit more flexible, because Gwen is still open, like we saw in the meta shift.
That's right. But then again, with this Farms, man, what this tells me is 1-1 as the first pick coming up from AP Bren. Why? Because you eliminate. It's not an actual counter to the 1-1, but it counters what 1-1 wants to do. That's why you cannot need to ban it out. There it is.
All right. It looks like the homework is working really well for the Burmese Ghouls as we see the first pick on the blue side for the side of AP Bren. I'm seeing Leo's got some ideas here.
So this goes tit for tat. One of them takes the Guinevere, the other takes the Nolan.
That's right. Yep. The prestige of Nolan is always in the first pick.
Right. Which do you prefer to see more for the side of AP? Personally, for me, I love seeing how they play Nolan, because not everybody can get away with it.
Yeah. Wow, that's a great question. Kind of makes me think, what if they swing it around and pick up the Arlot first? Because both Nolan as well as Guinevere are pretty strong heroes, but you kind of don't want to put it together. Because
it's like anti-synergy sort of situation.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, at least we know that Flapteasy is at 100% win rate with the Arlet, so it is tried and tested.
Nolan, there it is.
First pick Nolan. It's been picked 5 times so far, 55% ban rate and 40% win rate, because not everybody here is capable of pulling this off.
It usually happens, right? An OP hero in an international tournament gets a very low win rate because everybody just picks it up. and some people like counter it. So you can still go Guinevere. I think it's best if Burmese Ghouls actually steal the Arlet, because it's a very strong hero for AP Bren, just because of the fact that it's a flexible pick.
That's right.
You can pick it as a roam XP lane.
But considering what Leo said, tit for tat, I'm expecting at least maybe a Guinevere pickup as
Guinevere,
well.
yeah,
So
that's right.
it could be an either-or situation, but I am curious about the supplementary hero that they're going to pair it up with, right? We see the Angela come through. That seems pretty good so far, but they're also going to get the Guinevere.
Oh,
Okay.
I love it.
Right?
They're
It's good.
going for the basic tenets of what
Yep.
Nolan presents, right? I'm going to burst you down. How about I give you heroes that do not allow for that? You hide the Angela, you build full tank on the Guinevere. Bob's your uncle.
Man. Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your
Dude, the cult of Nolan has been going strong for a long time, but at the very least, there are ways around it. And I'm hoping to see maybe Arlet actually
Arlet,
come
yeah.
through for maybe AP Bren, so at least, you know, you don't disrupt the flow of
Yeah.
the Nolan.
Maybe you pick up a marksman already, because you maybe get the Claude eventually for AP Bren, because you don't want to give that combo, Queen plus Angela with the Claude. It's pretty strong. So I'm thinking Arlet Claude as the choices here for AP Bren.
Okay, Wolf locking in his predictions, and he's getting it right on the head. We see the Claude as well as the Arlet locked in. Man's at 100% so far. Let's see how long he can keep it up as we jump over to Burmese Ghouls on the red side. Any predictions for this one? Because so far, based on what I'm seeing, all right, we've got a little bit of pick off. We've got ways to kind of deny their opponents. It's not about counter drafting, it's
Yeah.
denying picks.
Exactly. It's gonna be difficult because you might lose a lot of like marksman choices. So maybe you might be forced to pick up Irthel immediately for Burmese Ghouls or a Brody,
Yep.
which kind of speeds up your tempo.
Stitch has a solid Brody, and then
Yep.
it forces Super Marco to actually think about it. What do I pick? What's my battle spell? Because if you go into the lane, the Brody is capable of bullying you, especially when the Angela hits level 4.
Yeah.
You win that fight almost 100%.
Man, a lot of things to actually consider here, but Burmese Ghouls here to present the new problem. It's going to be the Brody. Nailed it on the head once again. We are on fire here, boys. Well, you guys are. I'm just kind of on the sidelines for now. Second phase is going to begin. The bans are going to be important. Mid lane still missing for the side of Burmese Ghouls, as well as AP Bren.
Okay, so you're gonna be looking for perhaps some XP. Oh, actually no. The lineup of AP Bren is pretty open. Like, you don't know the Arlet if it will be Roam, will be EXP.
I think it's the same way for the Burmese Ghouls.
That's
You don't know
true.
where that Angela's going.
Exactly. Although, I will say that at least for AP Bren, it's a lot more flexible in their particular situation, right? Because they don't have to compromise on a mid laner at the very least, which I think is going to be pretty important for few in this matchup.
Oh, check it out in the arena.
Maybe Valentina?
The team that the Burmese Ghouls beat to be here in M5.
Oh, yeah.
It's Mythic Seals.
It's Mythic Seals. That's Justin. Oh my goodness. I mean, they've got to be here to watch this matchup, right? Got to get some information once we start moving out of those group stages. Kufra going to be the ban for the side of Burmese Ghouls. That's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think teams are now putting Kufra on the list just because of the presence of Guinevere, so that you can dash out. And actually, what I noticed is that Kufra can be a hero that kind of tanks the Guinevere initiations. You can like you can catch it basically for your team. And then you also have a lot of synergy with Claude, for example, because the more people you lock down, the more Art of Thievery stacks and the Blazing Duet effectiveness there will be.
You can line them up.
Yep.
I mean, I'm looking for a set type of tank here for the side of AP Bren. I was thinking Kufra, Burmese Ghouls instantly got it down, but it could go the opposite side as well. Like AP Bren does need some form of setting for somebody to go for the layup.
Yep. Look at that. The bans, the Minotaur, definitely an anti-Claude kind of hero, so they will just make sure that they secure at least the effectiveness coming out from the Claude. But I don't think that they will double down on roamer bans here for AP Bren.
Yeah, no, but just the same.
Oh.
Coach Ducky and the Coach Vren are actually respecting the fact that despite the Guinevere and the Angela coming out, which is a 100% win rate, by the way,
That was crazy.
Burmese Ghouls have a propensity to really lean hard on supports. So they're saying, you know what, even if there's already a heal here and a shield, they might even really just put the Angela in mid and pick up the Minotaur.
Yeah.
I mean, let's also not forget that Burmese Ghouls like to play around lane priority, making sure that they have control of the lane and get that first rotation. I'm thinking, you know, maybe even a first pick Brock here just to kind of supplement everything. You have a way to disengage, you have a way to start canceling abilities, and more so, even if the Arlet goes into the support section, hey, you can just face check him.
Yep. I wonder if Burmese Ghouls can play Benedetta or Khalid. Or did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah,
In lieu
Khalid.
of our good friend Yasu.
Sun rises
Well,
when I give the word.
Stand out.
They know.
They know.
They know.
They know.
They're
Okay.
tapping into our comms, boys.
Yeah.
we got to be careful here. We got to be careful with our predictions. It feels like something else is going on, but
Yeah.
for the time being, at least Burmese Ghouls will have first pick on that red side.
Yeah.
Let's see what it's going to go for, right? Because at the end of the day, we still need to figure out where this Angela is going to go.
Will this be the tell?
Yeah. If this, because it should be the tell, at least for. Well, if they pick up the EXP lane, you're
That's
still
right,
not
see?
sure.
Yeah.
No, so this is not a tell, unless obviously we see a hard roamer, you know. But I think in Benedetta actually for Burmese Ghouls, because I kind of fairly remember it was in their region they used that Benedetta a lot.
Carbon can. I think Carbon has a solid Benedetta.
I would put it past
Okay.
it for sure, but it looks like the next lock-in
A
is going to
Ruby.
be Ruby this time. I wanted to bring this up earlier, but I didn't know whether this was the right situation for it. I think this kind of, I don't want to say it works in the same way as Grok, but
Yeah.
at the very least, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because we still don't know whether this is going to be going into the EXP lane
Yep.
or even in the support section. But at
Exactly.
the very least, it's great at catching heroes off. It's great at slowing down the Claude. More
Yep.
importantly, anybody's got a stun, I'll pull you away.
I know damn well where it's going.
Where?
This is a Blink special.
Okay.
He's got a pocket Ruby.
Yep.
And for sure, it's going into the roam. So we know this is a mid
I am the
Angela.
priestess
Okay.
of primal lightning.
So that's Edith,
hunter
I
of all
believe,
the evil
from
gods.
AP Bren. We still don't know where it will go, and I'm thinking like a Valentina or a Gord actually for AP Bren.
Lord, I think Valentina is the safer pick.
no,
right?
Varia.
So even more safe, right? Instead of making sure that Edith is the one opening up the map, you can do it yourself from a safe distance.
Oh, AP Bren has so many ways to engage. How much range and diversity do you want? Yes.
I think Burmese Ghouls can still pick up the Joyce band out, but something like a Lancelot perhaps or a
So
a
you pull
Fanny even.
a Lancelot Fanning, so you pull the switcheroo, you send the Guinevere or the Ruby into the XP?
Yeah, because you already have two ways to kind of check the bushes. We have the Guinevere, for example. You also have the Ruby. I think the Ruby is a nice touch coming out from Burmese Ghouls because it's technically anti-assassin, if you think about it. Because you can check the bushes and you can also lock him down with a combo. But that sounds like a Baksha, actually.
Yeah, it looks like
Oh, a
Lock-in is gonna be
Uranus.
Uranus this
All right.
time round. Okay, so pretty standard
Wow.
overall. We got a sandbag up in the EXP for the side of Burmese Ghouls. And honestly, this is playing very much towards their style. Lane control, right? They needed a support that helps with that mid lane, and they've got exactly that on top of the fact that they've got the Uranus.
And we know where the damage is coming from. It's clearly coming from Stitch.
It's a lot of belief, a lot of faith in his consistency.
You know, I think I like the Uranus because there's no legitimate Uranus killer from the side of AP Bren. But at the same time, they are putting all of their damage eggs in the Stitch basket.
Exactly. It's
And then
all in
there's-
Stitch.
It's all the Stitch.
It's all in Stitch.
Don't look at me with those eyes. You're gonna make me crack up. But so far, considering what the counter index is, it definitely feels like it's in one team's favor compared to the other. We're gonna go deeper into this topic as we start and initiate our very first match here in the Land of Dawn at the M5 World Championships. It's AP Bren up against the Burmese Ghouls.
Welcome to
Can
Noble
imagine
Legends.
that the early game should be the target here for at least for Burmese Ghouls. They want to secure this because they're rocking the Brody with the Angela. And I'm actually thinking like what should be the good vehicle for the Angela. Obviously you want to do it with the Gwyn, but at the same time the Gwyn is more of a very committal or it's like a kiting kind of hero where you commit your ultimate to get out. You don't really necessarily stay in front. So maybe it's the Brody that should be the vehicle now for Burmese Ghouls because at least you maximize the effect of the Angela on this Brody.
I mean, from the way that I see it, early flicker coming out from Blink X just for Litho Wanderer. It's not going to be a big deal for now. He's not going to reach level 4 in time for the upcoming Turtle, but at the very least, we know where Burmese Ghouls are going to be leaning towards on the map.
Something is bothering me. The fact that AP Bren are investing in Wilderness Blessing, they're going to have so much faster rotations, and that's going to exacerbate the fact that they have so much range. That's going to be another problem that the Burmese will have to deal with.
I mean, it's one of those situations. We even saw this during the wildcards that a majority of teams towards the last few days started switching over to Wilderness for a Blessing because it just shows how important it is to win out these neutral fights.
Oh, wow. Nico can't even catch a break. Ogwin and Kyle steal away his small camp.
Okay. Now, this means that AP Bren are in a very comfortable spot. because I think that they have the better late game. They have the Varia as well as the Cloud, very strong in the latter portions of the game. And the fact that they are not getting invaded by Burmese Ghouls, especially this Nolan, I think this is a good sign. But obviously, everything will change come the first turtle fight.
And then we cut to Flapteezy, who has to deal with this Uranus, and all he's thinking of is just like, get me out of this lane, please. Let me team fight.
Phew, come on over. They do set up for the first turtle. It's Nico first to the scene, pulling it over to their side. Turtle less than half health here. Carbon drawing a line between them and AP Bren. Here we go. Teasy comes in with the steal. And now Carbon gets Lina in him. Heart Guard committed in already. Putting staff at the Ionic Edge. Blink Axe getting put into position with the final slash. Burmese Ghouls call out back.
Rather interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have expected, I mean, for the side of Burmese Ghouls, you're expecting the traditional, oh, I'm just going to look for someone to heart guard, we're going to go in, we're going to look for a pick, and then we're going to get back out of there. But I think Burmese Ghouls played that very, very well.
The Teasy's down bottom. All right, Carbon's not going anywhere.
I'm actually very surprised about AP Bren. I think I will review their early game rotations because, my oh my, how did ChezyGaming get level 5, almost level 6 before the turtle happened? 2 minutes to 13, he's already he's just a quarter of XP away from getting into level 6. That's crazy. That's why they were able to steal it, because they have the superior levels and the retribution.
I mean, let's not forget that when you are playing Nolan, your clear speed is rather fast.
True.
Like, have you ever seen Novarias just get frustrated? They know when they expect purple buff timings to die, and then Nolan's like walking through the mid lane. He's like, "What are you looking at? What are you shooting at?"
I'm done.
I'm gone.
It's over. I'm over here now. Right? You could have sworn he's a time traveler.
Exactly.
Oh, wait,
wow, Hunter's Strike already completed.
Man, I wonder when, I think, especially with the trajectory that you're seeing from ChezyGaming, the way that he's farming 2.4k at 3 minutes, this is Oppenheimer levels of explosions as we're going to see later on.
That's historic.
It is historic. But I think more importantly, wow, actually Flap having a considerable EXP lead against Carbon so far, despite getting proxied, despite having to join the fight a little bit later.
Yep. And I think that was the one bastion that Burmese Ghouls can have, that little sanctuary that, hey, at least Carbon's winning his lane. And now they're switching it over. I think they need a little bit more XP on Lina.
Where can they actually go with this? Especially since Kyle, he's not letting Nico have a good time.
Whoa! Comes in with the Requiem. Did ChezyGaming steal? Oh, he did!
He did.
Nico hesitated on the retry.
But this means that he has the retribution for the turtle.
That's right. Coming in. This is about to blow up. Lord here, approaching half health. In comes Flapteezy. Stitch coming in from the side, dealing damage. Nico holding his retry strong, and they go get it. That's one turtle apiece for both BG and AP Bren.
I love the decision-making coming in from the side of AP Bren. They understood the assignment. They recognized the situation wasn't their favor. And Lina is going to be first blood for the side of AP Bren!
That was quick.
That was the one thing that you gotta do, hide the Angela from the Nolan. Yeah. And Kyle found him.
I mean, we're talking about hustle. This man doesn't stop making good decisions. Yeah. They pushed out. The mid lane is already chunked down to 10%. He even gets first blood down on that bottom side. He is active.
Yeah, like you see Ogwen already positioning himself to defend Super Marco. Now AP Bren can leave the Nolan just, you know, roaming around. It's far too farmed. Even when he didn't get the second turtle, because of the amount of farm and the first blood that he was able to get and the number of creeps, jungle creeps that he was able to take away from Nico, look at him. He is level 10 compared to a level 8 Guinevere.
He's always doing something. And he knows that this is the right thing to do against Burmese Ghouls, who are an initiative-based team. They want to be able to do the thing one after the other. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's up to their timing. But right now, it's Burmese Ghouls who's following AP Bren's flow.
I would have considered that maybe the Burmese Ghouls were going to start getting some momentum during the mid-game, but right now, just the raw smothering coming out from ChezyGaming alone, and the supplement of these fast rotations, making it really tough for Burmese Ghouls to find holes.
And Guinevere is a jungler that you can count as a utility, but it still is purple buff dependent. So it's a very unique situation. Yeah, surely Guinevere is a pretty strong jungler now, but she's both farm dependent as well as utility, which is usually you can see only one or the other. But because of the fact that all of the purple buffs were taken away from him, Nico is going to have a very bad time in the mid game.
Speaking of which, I mean, we're looking at mid lane Carbon. Might just get caught out here.
Coming in, the conceal committed, final slash. Carbon gets a heart guard in him. Lina to the rescue. This Uranus ain't going anywhere. Blink holding this pixel brush, spotted by the Astral Echoes. Turtle getting beaten down. Burmese Ghouls pushing forward. Flapped easy from the back, looking for an angle. Nico wants to get it. Retribution is good. Nico scores it, and down goes Lina. That's a blazing duet considerably, dealing a lot of damage early on. Blink goes down. Ogwin gets the kill. Ogwin still staying in the vicinity. Carbon goes 3-0. AP Bren 3K ahead.
Man, that was such a clean fight coming in from AP Bren. I mean, at the end of the day, Burmese Ghouls got the neutral objective, but at what cost?
They would eventually get their orange buff, I believe, Nico. And Stitch stayed alive. So those are just some consolation prizes for Burmese Ghouls, but Gideon painted it well. It was a perfect team fight coming up from AP Bren. They abused the fact that Burmese Ghouls needs to get in and get out. It's like a kiting kind of a team fight formation for Burmese Ghouls, and we are going to see it through the replay. A little bit of a clash happening down. We'll see later. Look at that beautiful retribution, but after the initiation coming out from Nico, there's no follow-up because Stitch was zoned out by two members of AP Bren. Yeah, surely the Brody didn't die, but he didn't fulfill his job,
He didn't
basically.
get to do the thing.
Which you need to do it as the Brody in the early game.
Oh, it's tough. Coming in. Got the stacks in. Not going to commit everything. Burmese Ghouls playing with the range. And I think that's what also helped AP Bren win that perfect team fight, as you gentlemen were saying. They have so much range, they have so much diverse initiations that it spaces out Stitch.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, Nico didn't have his ult to actually follow up and start a new fight, but in the meantime, at least they got a shutdown on towards Kyle Teasy at the attempt of attacking that purple buff side from Burmese Ghouls. At the very least, we're seeing that Burmese Ghouls are scaling, right? 2 items already completed for the side of Brody, maybe a 3rd one on the way, and at this point, it's starting to get real dangerous, especially when you see Brody nearby.
Okay, not only for AP Bren, but at the same time, Burmese Ghouls, if they just realize that this is actually their power spike, they need to make the moves now. Fortunately, they have this Uranus that can actually be the vision provider around the Lord area. And the fact that they have taken out the turtles rather quickly, this means that the Lord is spawning also rather early.
Oh, and AP Bren know that this timing is key. Blink looking to get into that, because AP Bren, they have the advantage coming in. They catch one. Ogwin in the skies. Carbon gets his eyes on him. I'm offended. They're trying to burst down the Roamer. They're trying to take down Edith, and the Lord gets reset. AP Bren calling it off.
I like this plan a lot, honestly.
Oh! Final slash coming in. Carbon, he's in jeopardy. Gets the Heart Guard in just in the right time. 5th of his health coming back up, down to half. Nico commits. Both teams playing footsies, dancing around the Lord. And oh, so many ults spent from both sides, but neither have the advantage. Ogwin gets the Earth Shatter. Lord at half health, pulled just about an inch out, gets another reset. Stitch, a 1/3 of his health left. Not a good fight.
Wow, the first reset was great from AP Bren. I think it was very smart. The second reset is weird, but now Burmese Ghouls, they reset because they know that their lanes are in their favor.
I mean, they found it. It might even get a pick.
Blink, gets spotted, gets bursted down. Super Marco gets the kill, and they're still going. Carbon keeping up, playing footsies with 3. In goes the old Count Easy gets the Lord. This should be a retreat from the Burmese Ghouls, and they get sent down into the ground, but not for long because Carbon's still alive. Gets taken down. Stitch as well in the back line. Few gets him. Flapped Easy punished by Lina, but it's just too little too late.
Ooh, what a great bait coming in from Super Marco to actually force in one more kill from the side of the Burmese Ghouls. He was playing on a fine line.
What a reset coming up from AP Bren. At first glance, you would think that the second reset was weird, but then if you look at the map, the lanes are going to be pressured against Burmese Ghouls side, and that meant that Burmese Ghouls needed to disperse. And then AP Bren also took advantage of the massive XP difference. Kaltisi was level 14, while Nico was just level 11 during that Lord fight, and there was really no chance. And despite that gap, they still managed to find Nico with the knockup coming out from Ogwin, making it a no contest at all for the Retribution battle. AP Bren with a massive Lord dance.
I mean, the crazy part about it all is the fact that AP Bren gives so much respect. Oh, he's fine, but oh, wait.
Got the Purify in. Big fight coming up. Final slash puts Nico right under the ground, taking a dirt nap while the rest of AP Bren destroy that inhibitor up top. They're moving along. Lord's still standing.
I'm telling you, AP Bren are playing so respectful. I feel like in these types of situations with this kind of a lead, they start getting right up into your face. But against Burmese Ghouls, they're forcing out resources. They're starving them out.
They're trying to burst down Stitch in the middle of their base. Oh, there's an onward. Carbon gets sent into the skies. Heart guard into him. Super Marco still barreling away. Blink looking for the pull. Still does not have the ult. Flaptizi down. Torn apart memory, tearing him in half. Super Marco very low. Carbon still alive. A tenth of his health. Oh, he goes. Few takes him down. 1 for 1.
Oh man, Few just literally showed how much gold they have when it comes to advantage. That's just skill number 2, and he gets so much damage with the Impure Rage against the Uranus. And I believe that Carbon is not yet that farmed, especially because he's struggling. I mean, like, he needed to secure the front lines for the team. That meant that a lot of farm might have been taken away from him. In fact, he's just 6.3k compared to Few 7.7k with the Ice Queen 1 as well as the Truncheon and the Arcane Boots. That meant that Few's damage at this point, 12 minutes into the game, his scaling was, what? It was quickened.
This is difficult because we're looking at, what, 13 minutes in, right? Starting at the 6 or 7 minute mark, AP Bren has flexed their range diversity. And so far, Burmese Ghouls, we called it in the draft, right? They're really only relying on Stitch. And there's only one way to go about this. They've been trying to put some damage on Carbon with the Heart Guard, and now they're forced to do it. Oh, in a defensive manner, Stitch gets the Heart Guard on him, and they're gonna burst him down. Stitch goes, the first casualty. Now Blink. Oh, Super Marco blasting him, point blank survives, but only for a second more as Super Marco still eventually gets his man. Nico in the back line trying to take down Flaptizi, gets him. 2 for 1, the trade so far. Burmese Ghouls back inside their own base. It's Lena and Carbon defending.
I mean, when does this team stop, right? Carbon, he's gone. There's nothing he can do about this. So looking for the end.
Oh no, the base is up next. That's a double kill for Marco. AP Bren welcome the Burmese Ghouls with a victory. Game 1.
Woo, what a game secure coming in for the side of AP Bren. Like, initially it was a back and forth, and then all of a sudden, you feel the growing snowball. You feel the way that they are just smothering you each and every attempt that you make.
I felt that the AP Bren were the snakes, were the pythons actually, where they just constricted, slowly and surely taking the breath away from Burmese Ghouls, taking the air out. It was a very calculated constriction that the AP Bren were able to do against Burmese Ghouls. There's no other way that I can describe it, because it's like they're taking away jungle creeps one at a time, and then all of a sudden you'll notice you don't have to farm anymore.
AP Bren, they are innovators of offense. They don't necessarily always have to barrel you down like a sledgehammer, like a blunt force object. I'd akin their playstyle here to like a spear and a shield. It's very calculated. All right, I have to play defensive here, and then Hasa!
I mean, that's one way of putting it. How I'd like to see it, it's more like Jujutsu. Just get your hand right under the neck, look for that rear naked chokehold, man. And that's what it really feels like, because once the lights are out, it feels like there's so little that you can do. Worst yet, the chemistry from this team, I was expecting at some point, just maybe that Final Slash is going to mess with the Earth Shatter. But no, it's the opposite. Final Slash into the Earth Shatter. Perfectly done.
I think that also Bren Esports were given a lot of comfort heroes. Like, you see the Nolan, obviously. And then they get the Arlott as well as the Claude. If you combine all these heroes all together, it's pretty strong. And I think that that was a curious decision to go for this kind of composition. But at the same time, it feels like Bren Esports have mastered Nolan. And he's the guy, our MVP. Few himself on point. Actually, he didn't die in this game. 3-0-6 and a very nice kill participation. Even had the Purify. I don't think that he ever had to use it.
Oh, he did. There was this one moment like, oh, how'd they get in there? Oh, all right, he's fine.
Yeah,
he's fine. I mean, our MVP of the game, given over to Few, brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. Let's have a look at the highlights and walk us through the timeline here, Wolf, because this is awkward. From the highlights brought to you by Grandpa Unlimited, it felt like there were moments that Burmese Ghouls had an opportunity, but still smothered by AP Bren around these neutrals.
Exactly. Look at how Stitch was zoned out by 2 members of AP Bren, with Few being so difficult to deal with. And then that's left with Nico catching 2 members of AP Bren, but didn't have the follow-up. They didn't have the damage afterwards. And then Nico tried to counter Kyle TZ. I believe that Kyle TZ will be taken out this time. But at this point, like the idea for AP Bren is to just take control. And this is another one of those chokeholds where they were able to find Blink, but they will reset the Lord because they know that Burmese Ghouls needed to take care of the minions first. And now there's a massive disadvantage. Look at Few. Watch out for Few. Landing the skill 2. And then, obviously, actually the Astral Sphere didn't need to land because of the final slash just getting more damage for Novaria's skill 2.
I mean, it's just raw confidence, right? A lot of trust in teammates that there's being put on display here in the game number 1. But I think especially for the Burmese Ghouls, right, it felt like they never got on the same tempo. And especially with the way that Few opens up the map, they know exactly at what timing they're looking to play around.
That was the moment that Few had to use his Purify.
It's a tough matchup. I think that right now, if we're thinking for potential adjustments as we start looking at these items here, it's something to consider. Maybe we're looking for something a little bit more, not so tempo-based, that you can play off-tempo sometimes to really get under the skin of AP Bren.
And some junglers do not put a lot of emphasis on the Season Hunter, but you see how well used it is for the Nolan, how fast he was able to get all his jungle creeps, able to get to almost level 6, 3/4 experience to level 6 at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. I think that should be the fastest jungling that I've ever seen, at least this year, right? Year 2023, that is very, very quick. And in fact, all they needed to do was to walk by, drive by the turtle, snatch that turtle number 1 against Nico, and then he basically set up his own home at the jungle of Burmese Ghouls afterwards.
I live here now.
Exactly.
My
That's
buff.
his address.
My creeps.
Somebody check out TZ's address. It's Burmese Ghouls jungle for sure.
Oh man, I hope that that's not going to be the case for game number 2, because I mean, considering the items that he built as well, Hunter Strike first item, he's looking to be fast and quick. He's not looking to high burst someone just yet until later on. But as we see the rich guy coming in for Super Marco, I thought that he was going to have a tougher time in his lane. He played it well. Let's not forget about the carry coming here from a few big damage coming in these team fights, and also as a way to help the team make good decisions to punish Carbon.
Yeah, and the fact that you are Novaria at 12 minutes, I believe. Typically, you become the MVP if you're Novaria. If the game lasts so long, you deal 130 damage. But Few being 1,000 gold richer than the enemy XP lane, that speaks a lot on how on point Few was in this game. 69% kill participation, and it was Super Marco. Interestingly, that was part of majority of AP Bren's wins, and the, it's surprising to see AP Bren's composition with Novaria and Claude being high when it comes to like their kill participation, because typically these two heroes farm a lot.
Yeah, no, it was assisted. It was ramped up there. It was expedited. I think Gideon mentioned that halfway through that, nope, it's much faster now. We're getting here because of how proactive AP Bren is. And look at this. This is a clear telltale sign that Burmese Ghouls have a dilemma. Their most damage taken and dealt are coming from Carbon.
Yeah.
It became a catch-22 of Stitch can't find the damage, Stitch can't put the stacks on. What do we do in this case? Carbon, you do the thing.
I think they had to, right? Because we looked at Nico, he was having a tough time in the jungle, under-farmed as well, in comparison to their EXP laner, who was having the time of his life. So therefore, you kind of have to switch who the spearhead is going to be. I think at the end of the day, it really just came down to homework. Burmese Ghouls like to play around having lane priority, and unfortunately, Coach Ducky and as well as Bren have done a very good job at forcing the support into a position where you have to stick by the mid lane to get that priority, while all of us are just running over to the other lane first.
Yeah, I believe that it was very comfortable for AP Bren to play this kind of draft where it's very flexible, at least in the case of Arlott, right? That's why I felt like this is the hero of the tournament, at least for the first week. If there's a triple S tier, I would put Arlott in that case, just because of the flexibility that is given to it. It's like, it's more difficult to draft around or against that hero just because of the flexibility.
No doubt, I think it's that same issue that the Burmese Ghouls were dealing with. They're like, all right, our core got hit with the Earth Shatter and the Onward. There's a Nolan about, and you aren't even accounting for the final slash. And that's what exacerbates the whole situation. That's what amplifies Burmese Ghouls' feeling of, I don't know if you guys agree with me, they did not feel at home in their own skin playing this lineup.
Yeah, they definitely felt a little uncomfortable for sure. Like, especially once we started rolling into the mid game, which what I was hoping for, especially since the early game may not necessarily gone into their favor, and worse yet, it really was just on the jungler who was struggling. But in the meantime, I think that the game plan needs to somewhat change.
I agree. I think Uranus versus Brody might not work. It's not a good composition, I would say.
Something that we're going to be considering in the next upcoming match. But in the meantime, let's have an interview up on stage.
Thank you to our casters. Hey, Pilipinas, let's give a warm Philippines welcome to Justin and Ruby DD! All right, I'm pretty sure when I said your name, Ruby DD, every Filipino here knows who you are. Yeah, it's the combo. This is the man behind the Ruby DD combo. But of course, welcome to the Philippines. This isn't actually your first time here. When was the last time you came to the Philippines, so our fans know?
I came here before in the embassy 2019. Yeah.
Oh, and you competed then. You were playing.
Yeah.
So we came here during MSC 2019 and Ruby DD is back. But for you, Justin, first time here in the Philippines, how has it been so far? How's your experience here in the Philippines?
Yeah, this is my first time in the Philippines. I like Filipino foods. Yeah. Yesterday, we won Enchanted Kingdom, the amusement park.
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun in there.
So you guys went to Enchanted Kingdom. Do you remember like the rides? Like what was did you have a favorite ride there or favorite experience there?
It was crazy, that roller coaster.
Oh, the roller coaster. Did you guys ride the biggest one, right?
Yeah.
Not me.
Okay, yeah. So if ever you come here to the Philippines, make sure you go to Enchanted Kingdom because one, all of us has been there. It's a Filipino thing. And two, you could say that, hey, we were there when Mythic Seals also got to go there. So, you know, it's an experience that you can't miss. For both of you guys, so now we know that they are from Mythic Seals. But there was a time where, Ruby DD, you were in Burmese Ghouls. I'm pretty sure you were there when Burmese Ghouls had their M2 run. All of Myanmar was watching. So what can you say about this new-look Burmese Ghouls team?
Yeah. They are pretty strong. I think they just need to do bravely and do their best in the tournament. I hope they have no pressures. Yeah.
All right, so no pressure, says Justin. What about you, Ruby DD? Now, Few, the MVP of game number 1, the captain and mid laner of AP Bren, mentioned that his favorite moment in M2 was when he felt your combo for the first time. Can you tell the world how you came up with the Lunox combo?
Because with that combo, the Lunos can do massive damage when being invisible. That's why.
Okay. So when did that happen? Were you just practicing one day? Did you discover it? Did you think of it randomly? How did that happen?
Yeah, when I played the hero, I discovered it.
Oh, so it just happened.
Yeah, it just happened.
The best things in life. Sometimes you just discover it. Again, a round of applause to Mythic Seals, Justin and Ruby DD, two Myanmar legends. And now we've heard them show their support for Burmese Ghouls. Let's see if the Burmese Ghouls can force a game number 3 against the defending champions of the Philippines, AP Bren. Casters, back to you.
Thanks so much, Remar. It's great to see, at the very least, the old guard and the new guard standing side by side in moments like this. It really shows the history of the M series.
I like that Reptar asked Justin what he felt like or what he was doing in the moments that Ruby DD was competing against Bren. And he did not say that when that was happening, he was crying.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Rep. You know what it is.
That actually happened. You can look up the video. But yeah, big shout outs to Redmar, of course.
Doing a great job.
Man, Ruby DD. I think if we could dissect that more, I would love to see. I would love to know how he discovered it. Did it come from a dream? Did it come from someone else?
I hope that it was just a breath of fresh air. But speaking of old guard and new guard, let's have a look at AP Bren versus the Burmese Ghouls then and now. Because these are the new faces of the Burmese Ghouls. Their lineup isn't the same no more in comparison to AP Bren, where majority of the lineup has changed and only 2 remain.
Ah, this takes me back. Actually, just seeing their names, there's a lot of like throwback for Burmese Ghouls, I can fairly remember the Grok off lane. It's not even XP lane. It was in the XP lane, but we don't call it that. We call it like a side lane Grok. Side lane assassin Grok. That's what we call it.
Things were very different. No, even after when the things were adjusted, you would also notice that some things never change. Some things are still here. Like again, the fact that Carl Tizzy is still around.
Yeah. Back in M2, Paquito. Yeah, Paquito was a thing, and it was like first introduced. I remember there was a 1v1 for the players when they're playing Paquito. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember that as well.
Yeah. Even Matthew was playing that.
He was.
The finals was between Kurt Tizzy of Then Omega, now with Echo, and Ace of the Ghouls.
Oh my goodness,
Ace won.
That. How do you remember all this? It's crazy.
No, I just remember it literally after seeing this. Like EXP and Golden Age, they were just established back then, but then we were swapping things around depending on what matchup will be. That's why the Grok X offlane was invented by Ace, because that is the counter to the Rebo Claude, or it was the Rebo Claude, right?
Yep.
Not the Coco Claude, because Coco was
cheering.
Coco
was around.
He was around.
Yeah.
But it's incredible to see all of this history come together. Honestly, even the glow-ups of some of these players. Let's not forget that.
That's right.
Hey, looks great on social media, don't get me wrong. But for the time being, we now have to go into game number 2. This is adaptation for the side of the Burmese Ghouls, right? Their plans have been figured out. Now it's adjustment.
Yep. Number 1, I'd say, priority is to alight a little bit of that pressure from Stitch. It's one thing to say, Stitch is your main damage dealer, but don't make him the only damage dealer.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Especially when you're drafting like Uranus, for example. Typically, when you draft an XP laner like Uranus, you want to make sure that your jungler is at least an assassin or a scaling kind of junglers. Because why would you want to use the Uranus for tanking the damage as well as splitting the lanes, right? Because you want to make space for another person to scale. And the fact that Guinevere is not that kind of hero, together with the Brody, right? So if there's anything that I can fault for that draft coming out from Burmese Ghouls, it might be the Uranus.
Really? I was thinking that maybe even the Angela could have been switched out for something else, put into the support position like it's supposed to be, and something in the mid lane that could happen. I mean, the other radical ideas are like, maybe Alice in the jungle. I mean, we're talking about scaling, might as well scale like that, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see. The first pick now for Burmese Ghouls. They ban out the Joy again, and then it's still Bruno for AP Bren. But this time, you get first pick. So you have Nolan priority, you probably have Arlet priority at this point. I will not be surprised if eventually both Burmese Ghouls and AP Bren just get the Arlet at first chance they get.
Yeah, and that's more likely for the Burmese Ghouls this time around, because I would not be surprised if this happened the same way Game 1 did, but on the other side around. So maybe it would be like Ujaved. Deja vu upside down.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a little tough. It's a little tough because now we are seeing a couple of similarities to game number 1 on the reverse side for at least Burmese Ghouls. We're all playing on the blue side compared to AP Bren on the red side. We see the Joy, we also see the Phobias, and I'm hoping that maybe AP Bren is going to do something about this, right? Do they respect Nolan enough? Because I'm noticing that most teams are like, yeah, if we like playing it, therefore every other team loves playing it.
Yeah. Okay, so that means that both Nolan and 1-1 is the priority. I think that the weird thing about this is that Burmese Ghouls might just copy what Brent did and ban the Faramis third ban.
Yep.
That's a great sign.
That's a great sign.
That's a great sign.
But I think that, the reason why is, imagine if Burmese Ghouls secures Nolan or 1-1. Both of those two heroes struggle against Faramis, and AP Bren will be very happy to pick up the Faramis as their first set of picks.
If the Ghouls don't ban it here.
If the Ghouls don't ban it.
If the Ghouls ban it here, then we're off to a great trade. We have action.
Well, I mean, there's also the possibility. I mean, I'm not seeing any Valentina bans considerably coming into game number 1. I don't expect it to happen in game number 2. So it's one of those situations. You take Faramis, I take Valentina. Therefore, that's the trade.
And that's the only time she shows up.
Yeah.
But then again, was totally snubbed in game 1. So I expect this will be the tell. Whatever the Burmese Ghouls ban here will tell the tale.
At the same vein, you want to ban the Arlet, but I think the Faramis might be the best ban for Burmese Ghouls. They banned Mathilda. Oh, wow, yeah, Mathilda, of course.
I'm not gonna lie.
Forget.
I was expecting AP Bren to be doing the banning of the Matilda,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
that's
they love playing it, so therefore they expect the Burmese Ghouls to do the same. But Burmese Ghouls taking that first initiative, now giving that tempo over to AP Bren.
Yep.
Now they kind of decide what is going to be that first pick.
Maybe, what if AP Bren bans Valentina instead? And then they overload. They overload Burmese Ghouls. What will you pick? Will you pick up something like a Nolan, the 1-1, or the Theramis?
Which one?
Which one? You can only pick one. And if I ban the Valentina, you're now in checkmate.
That's a really good... Oh, you're right.
They lose the trade either way.
Yeah, especially since they are on the red side. That gets more of these picks. So let's see here. You see that red side, AP Bren have decided to get rid of...
The 1-1.
Oh, the 1-1 already.
All
Yeah.
right. So this allows for a more equal trade.
Yes.
Wait, what if they're switching out? Okay, no 1-1. We trust in our gold laner, Super Marco. We still have Arlet available.
That's right.
So that's going to be the trifecta
100%.
now.
Yeah.
Arlott Faramis or Arlott Valentina, whichever.
Yeah, I'm thinking
AP
Arlet
Bren goes
Faramis for AP Bren. I mean, honestly, the best choice for Burmese Ghouls now is to pick up the Faramis. But at the same time, I think that they will not pass up on a Nolan again.
I mean, if that's the case, then is there any consideration with so much CC that, I don't know, throw in that Diggy here, the clock
There it
broken?
is.
Because, I mean, back in M2 Grand Finals, Diggy was banned in all 7 games.
Truly shows how things have changed. And again, the Ghouls keeping us honest. They do pick up the Faramis first. Something to note. At the times of M2, Coach Ducky was very vocal about hating Diggy.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't even think twice if Coach Bren says we're playing Diggy. Okay.
Yeah.
Say less.
Say less.
We'll do it.
All
Okay, Arlott is open for AP Bren. I think that's a priority now.
Valentina as well. I mean, there's so many things that they could open up with, and that's going to predetermine what Burmese Ghouls are going to complete this first phase of the draft with.
And they also have the Guinevere. Some teams, some players don't like the Guinevere in this case, but yeah, it's Arlott Gwyn could be good. It's still very flex too.
Nolan's still here.
Nolan, yeah, Nolan of course. Nolan Arlott. Thank God! I love it! Because it's the Faramis answer!
That's right. Plus the burst of the Nolan doesn't matter.
One, I love the fact that AP Bren always, especially in the drafting phase, it's not like we're setting up for something. It's, oh, you present a question, we present problems upon problems upon problems.
That's right. How do you answer this? You pick up no, you don't do anything. So they still go Brody. Makes a lot of sense. And a Martis. Martis is a hero that Nolan cannot necessarily overtake in the jungling when it comes to his jungling speed. At least in the first salvo of creeps, first rotation, you get level 4 Bottle U because of the speed of the Martis. And now it's a coin toss. Do you actually win the first turtle fight and then snowball from there? Between Nolan and Martis, Martis needs it more.
Already, I think the Ghouls are off to a good start. They are already much better than they were in Game 1, draft-wise. Back to Wolf's point, it's just a matter of execution. Timing, what do you do with the advantage now that you have?
Well, I think a lot of things are kind of set in stone now that we see the Arlott get locked in, 50% overall ban and pick rate, 47%. And that number is definitely going to change throughout the tournament.
It's going to rise.
It's really going to rise. I feel that, especially for the Burmese Ghouls, at least this opens up the option of saying, even if we are going to be playing towards gold side, we can play for the earlier stages of the game. We don't necessarily need to take first turtle as long as we get like 2, maybe even 3 if we're super lucky throughout the match.
Yeah, AP Bren now, they do have a choice to ban out maybe XP laners at this point. Terza comes to mind because it's a hero that's great versus the Claude. You can actually still ban the Minotaur if you're AP Bren.
Yep.
Because if you remember, like, Burmese Ghouls, they want their roamer to be in the front. That will definitely be the ban.
Oh, they've really done their homework. They're not letting it through, no matter blue or red side. We jump back to the Burmese Ghouls, right? What are the problems that we're expecting from AP Bren that Burmese Ghouls don't want to deal with?
Good morning, it's sa Pilipinas, and good evening sa ibang panig ng mundo. This is ChezyGaming.
Valentina as well as Edith, I believe.
Official
Edith is a roamer slash XP laner choice that kind of deals with the Faramis because you take out all of those shields with your ultimate.
Is there any consideration for the Navarra? Because I'm looking at this comp and I'm like, man, it's kind of similar to game number 1. Is that going to be the case of saying, hey, let's just outplay the Netherrealm and then maybe we can make something happen?
Shout out sa mga viewers natin. We are both
well, the answer is definitely
on
yes.
YouTube and
That's a great
Facebook.
fight because Novaria is also a hero that Faramis cannot reach
like and
necessarily.
share
So,
our official
Novaria in
live
that case.
stream.
Not just Faramis. all of the heroes right now can't
And
find
you can show your
the
support
Novaria.
by following and subscribing to our social media pages.
Interesting. So that means AP
Thank
Bren
you
is
very
like, well,
much.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't need to fix it, right?
Right.
Let's just keep to the same philosophy.
We won in short fashion in game 1. Why don't we do it again? Because so far, it's up to Burmese Ghouls. Ball's in their court. They are the ones who have to adjust. They're the ones who have to show us something new. And so far, I think they're on the right track.
Yeah.
Do they still ban the Valentina here, though? Just to cover the bases?
Yeah, I think so. I think so because I mean, Valentina is also a hero that kind of likes the decimation in the first fight. Yeah, in the first turtle fight, right? You get the decimate, and then you have so much damage.
Yep.
And then latter portions of the game, you now copy the Nether Realm. Yeah, and I think we heard
the voice.
It was definitely her.
Is this the Lilia angle coming out from the side of AP Bren? I mean, it just ways to kill their opponents for the time being before they do that push and pull dance all over again. Could be a possibility. Definitely something to consider. But it looks like you know, the lock-ins have started to come through. I'm pretty sure that's a Guinevere.
Yeah, that's a Gwyn, which we did prescribe earlier on.
They're gonna put the Guinevere in the Rome. Or
That's
the XP,
right.
either way.
That's
We've
right.
seen both Arlott and Gwyn in both rows.
I
That's
mean,
right.
you know my angle. I love double flex picks here. I love hiding, well, not really hiding your strats, but always keeping your opponents on their toes, even in the draft. It feels like the pressure never left game 1.
Again, whenever you're playing against AP Bren, you gotta look out for those DFPs. The battle begins in the draft.
Yeah.
That's just what Vren and Ducky bring to the table.
I wish that Benedetta will be the XP lane choice, but there still is that Terizla that I see for the side of... oh, Lapu!
That's a carbon pick right there.
That's really
That is a
interesting.
carbon pick.
That's a carbon pick.
It's one of those situations whereby, like, when you're going up against the Arlet and you're looking for something to not only win the lane, but also look for some high burst, Lapu kind of comes into mind. Anti-CC works really, really well against that Arlet, but it does mean that AP Bren get the choice of who goes into the EXP lane.
That's right.
They're leaning hard on that DFP. I love it. Up until this last pick, you don't know who's going where, and we're still looking for the few hero.
Farsa would be good for AP Bren, although there's the Lapu-Lapu, so that might be a little bit of a problem for Mr. Few.
Idle Nama Kids, as he's known locally.
Or Eve, but Valentina's... Oh,
Yeah,
Valentina was already
currently,
banned out, so... Okay,
I'm also
so yeah,
playing
you're left
Mobile
with
Legends
board.
right now.
You got no choice.
Around
But there's a lot of jump. Well, there is a jump from Burmese Ghouls. It's Lapu-Lapu. If you count the flicker play coming out from the Kaja, that could also be good. So this is not the best gourd game, but it is still a good game for Few.
I mean, it fulfills the conditions, right? You have people who can set you up, and more importantly, you need it high burst rather than a consistent amount of DPS, which Gord actually provides, especially once he gets enough stacks stacking upon you to get the true damage. Let's have a look at the team comparison here. And let's start breaking this down, because again, counter index is looking more into AP Bren's favor by only 0.3. That's a very small margin.
Yeah. Okay. I will not pretend to be an expert in this, but I think that yeah, you can say that when it comes to like countering your enemies, I think AP Bren has, I would say, more tools to counter their opponents.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like the Claude is still a good hero in the Faramir setting, and I don't think that it was even addressed in this situation. Lapu-Lapu is not the hero that you look for when going up against a Claude, because it's not a one-hit knockout kind of thing.
Very similar to game 1 then.
Yeah.
As we go into this match, point for AP Bren, and the Ghouls are holding on. The Ghouls already adjusting the way they could. And I'll say it again, I said it in the draft, they're looking much better now. It just comes down to execution.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this early game goes well for the side of Burmese Ghouls to put up a really decent fight against AP Bren. But let's keep in mind, the scaling at the same time is looking kind of good for the side of AP Bren, right? If you really have to put the numbers down 1-to-1 as we start seeing what some of the emblem picks are going to be. A lot of Wilderness Blessings coming out for the side of AP Bren.
This seems to be a Burmese Ghouls decision that they really want to let their opponents rotate, because they'll pick the fights when they're ready. And look at this, Kyle Easy just loaded up from game 1, man. He's doing the same thing. He really does, Wolf, live inside the Ghouls jungle.
I wonder what were the setups for AP Bren to actually allow this happen. I mean, we know that Nolan is pretty quick when it comes to dealing with the jungle, but Yeah, AP Bren. And Caltisi, we gotta really check his address later on after this series.
I see some ID. I swear, if you open up this grab app, it's telling you your jungle every single time. But noticing that on the bottom side, that Stitch already losing that flicker, hopefully that doesn't get punished later on into the match, because at least for the side of AP Bren, they have the option of saying, you know what, we don't need the turtle, we're just going to hurt you down bottom side.
Man.
Oh my god.
Caltisi clearing the minion wave. That's curious.
Fuse looking at Kyle is like, hey, come on, man.
Come on, man.
You know what? There's another wave coming in. I think it's gonna be fine. They're just gonna have to delay this turtle. They know that the Burmese Ghouls can't go as fast.
Yeah, and they will take the purple again. Okay, so this is the rotation.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen.
This is
and then
it.
Ogwin just resets the turtle.
Yeah, this is
That's very
delayed.
nice.
this is so annoying.
It's a proactive delay.
Wow, the rotation coming from AP Bren.
And Kyle is level 5 as well. Like this, they've set it up perfectly.
Here we go. Spacing them out. Carbon answering back. Few very low. Gets taken out by Carbon. And now Ogwin can't even respond. The Ghouls pull the turtle all the way to their side. But wait, look at this. Very sneaky.
Yeah.
Kyle Teasy stole away
Teasy.
the orange.
And even the Rock Horse is going to be taken out.
Oh.
Caltisi is just taking away the farm.
He's going down bot side.
Our farm.
He's going down bot side. No, he's decided off of it. He's starting to head on through. They're going to contest.
Coming in with the pull. Committing it on to Ogwin. Gets taken out. Turtle still standing. Watch Kyle TZ goes in. Nico still secures. And Nico gets out of there. That's a couple of wins. Big 3 minutes in for the Ghouls.
I love being at these internationals because now we are seeing the evolution of teams don't necessarily have to contest the turtle in the exact same way. They can delay it. And more importantly so, these plays coming in from Carbon is actually making it worthwhile for the side of the Burmese Ghouls. He's unlocked finally.
And look at Stitch trying to actually bait out this blazing duet.
Big 2v1, close call. Ogwin almost caught Stitch, but Stitch saw it coming.
Yep. Super Marco survived that. He was able to get that cart, the catapult, the cannon. And also, Burmese Ghouls was able to get the turtle. This means that they are in a much better spot compared to the previous game.
We're definitely going to see much more aggression coming into the Burmese Ghouls in just a little bit, especially as we're starting to move in and end this early stage of the game. But I'm curious. I feel like AP Bren, well, more so towards the Burmese Ghouls, want to extend the laning phase for as long as they can.
Yeah, and this is not how AP Bren was looking to let this rotation go. This is cool because the Ghouls are learning as we're going. Oh wait, Stitch down bottom, not going to survive long enough to get his ult off as Kyle Teasy pops him off 1v1.
It's clear that at least for the side of AP Bren, they're looking to just punish Stitch every single time. They kind of want to delay these turtles, but at the end of the day, as long as they're walking away and making sure that Super Marco gets ahead in his lane, then this becomes a much more difficult game for the side of BG.
The early corrosion sight coming out from Super Marco, 1 minute 20 seconds. They go for DHA, slap in trouble.
Oh no, commits the flicker, dashes on through. Blink and Nico want to finish the job. Oh, it's a 3v1. How is Flap surviving?
No.
How is Flap still alive? There's a Mystic Gush. The Filipino cannon survives.
I really wish we had a mic check for that, because what was the decision there? Was he telling us, okay, I'm going to die, I'm going to buy some time. If you can make it, then come on over. If not, just chill. Because you can see the hovering coming in from Kyle. Like, he kind of wants to help, but at the same time, what can he really do?
Yeah, and the craziest thing about it is that FlapTZ is not even rocking a Brave Smite. Like, that's Quantum Charge. He's still able to sustain himself. FlapTZ knows this hero a lot.
Here we go. Second turtle already spawned 5 minutes in. Few throws out. Mystic Projectile. In comes the final slash. Carbon with the bravest fighter. Turtle on 10th of its health. Nico gets a retribution. Kyle Easy half health coming in. Carbon with the flicker and the tail end of that big two-handed sword as the Ghouls advance inside AP Bren's jungle. The Ghouls are looking great. 2-1 here. 100% turtle taker.
This is the power spike from Burmese Ghouls. This is how you should be playing your composition. I like seeing Burmese Ghouls' aggression right now. And the fact that they are not getting baited out, getting outplayed by the members of AP Bren. As soon as I say that, there is the gold coin.
Whoa, Blink with the pull! In Kyle, he gets popped by Nico.
Talk about timing here. Literally timing. It happens, right? I think that it's a little unlucky for the side of Burmese Ghouls.
No. Charles?
No.
Charles coming in. Final slash, displacing Carbon.
Me?
And just like that, he is so in control. He knows how much life he has left.
you kidding me?
You have to admit, it's kind of upsetting
It's
that he's getting
upsetting.
away.
And you only have like literally just Thunder Belt. You don't even have a lifesteal emblem set. You don't have the Brave Smite. You don't have any items.
Got a little heal on the Q.
That's true. That's true.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing.
Please, just let me live. I mean, to be honest, considering that for most EXP laners, you know that you're going to be kind of left isolated on your own side of the map, right? You're expected to be independent. But I think in this particular case, like, how far is he really pushing that line?
He's taking independence to a whole nother level. He's self-sustaining. He's straight up photosynthesizing.
He's financially stable, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. Looking with 13 more seconds for the next turtle to spawn, I think it's a little unlucky that it keeps on spawning on this side of the map, because Burmese Ghouls would be more than happy to go on this bottom side. But now, with the lane swap, and especially with the tier 1 broken on this side, now the Burmese Ghouls can take full advantage of their comp.
And so far, I think AP Bren have understood the assignment. They know that they're down about 1,000 gold. They know that the Ghouls are playing with initiative, and this is where the Burmese want to be. There's the pull by Nico.
Speaking of initiative, you see that catch-up is Stitch combo. They even concede at this point.
Uh-oh. They're rotating in. They find Few. Gets a Divine Judgment off camera. He gets popped by Stitch. Popping the Torn Bar Memory. Carbon drawing a line between the Ghouls and AP Bren. Going for the bravest fighter early on. Flicker still in tow. Ogwen coming in with the full combo. And now the turtle take resumes. Oh, it's not going to turn into a lord just yet. We're already past the 8-minute mark, and this is a turtle dance if I've ever seen one.
Rare sight. Kaltizi is level ahead of Nico.
Oh, another bravest fighter. Flaptizi finds the angle from the back. Bravest fighter in. Blazing duet just enough to have the retribution have a larger margin of error. AP Bren steals the final one.
Darn, that was actually really, really close. Right on the very edge there. Nicely done coming in from the side of Kaltizi. But let's not forget the amount of abilities that were thrown to make this retribution actually safe and secure. Nicely done by Flaptizi.
Yep. The flappening, as we call it.
It's happening.
The flappening. The wonderful final slash catching 4 people. And not only the amount of people that he was able to get, like you said, the timing that it was. The CC plus the Retri combo coming out from AP Bren was crisp, I would say. Even though they already have the numbers, the XP advantage between Kaltizi as well as Nico, they still utilize all of their tools just to secure the turtle. And then they get out safely.
I'm on an XP advantage. Dude, Kaltizi, it's as if he didn't even suffer in the mid game, man. He's still ahead now. 12 to 11. Nico, half health, gets caught by the combo of Ogwen. Just like that, I feel AP Bren crawling back slowly.
They are, and I think this is where we see the strongest part of AP Bren in these moments between the lords, between the turtles. They're making active moves across the map. In comparison to the Burmese Ghouls, right? I think their strongest is when that neutral objective is up. They have some really creative ideas with the way that they actually play with Stitch as well as BlinkX.
One good thing that AP Bren is doing is they're making sure that Super Marco is getting the farm out. And he's not even contested. 0-0 and 0. At this point, you're happy if your Cloud is like that. Especially because it's a close game. And Burmese Ghouls eventually will run out of steam. So mid-game is their power spike, and that will last until maybe 15 minutes. They have to make the moves right now. Otherwise, AP Bren's naturally scaling lineup will be superior.
Whoa, gentlemen, they're in their prime, is what we're trying to say. And just looking at that gold difference, the gold is not where you want it to be for the Ghouls right now.
Not at all, not at all. This is wait, bot side, what's going on there?
Oh, Carbon, 3v1, 4v1. Oh, he got ganked. He could not say anything to that. Now Nico trying to repair the situation. Catches Flap. And now the fight breaks out entirely. Stitch takes out Few, but Kyle finds sweet revenge. And now Lina gets caught out. Flaptizi already spent his ult. There's a pull, not gonna happen in between the walls. AP Bren have initiative here. 2 for 1. Big timing here, this window, for them to steal away the Lord. Gets reset as Kaltizi wails away. Pushing back Nico and Lina. Blink holding the river bush. What's gonna happen? He spots out Marco. Oh, he's the one who gets spots out this time around. And he gets on out of there. AP Bren, they want the Lord. They need it. Final slash by Flaptizi. Puts him where he wants him. Carbon coming in with the bravest fighter. Kaltizi scores! And the fight continues. Super Marco with a blazing duet. And the Nether Realm from the Ghouls. Getting them just enough time to back off.
Man, this is one heck of a game. AP Bren being proactive on the bottom side, but more importantly, the fact that Burmese Ghouls are making the correct decisions. 3 big ultimates. Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, Divine Judgment on the flap, TZ, and he survives, but only for a second more as Stitch takes him down.
Man, a caster just can't compliment you at this point, right? You know, every single time it just occurs like this, and, you know, hopefully AP Bren don't give another one, as they already have the Lord on their side pushing towards the bottom lane.
I mean, great idea coming from Burmese Ghouls. Back-to-back objective dances, they utilize the Kaja ultimate on the few. The Divine Judgment on the few meant that they will eliminate one, but in the previous Lord dance, Kaltizi found Stitch. It was more than enough. The damage was more than enough. Stitch doesn't have the Rhythm Nature yet. And the fact that they already lost their EXP laner, that meant that there was not enough vision on the side of Burmese Ghouls to stay in the Lord area. And AP Bren just a better macro decision overall. They pushed the bottom lane, and then they positioned Kaltizi in the mid where he can snipe people.
I mean, can you blame the Burmese Ghouls for taking a fight like that? I felt like it was more the fact that AP Bren were able to find that trade in the first place, because 3 big ultimates are down. I felt like even if I was part of the Burmese Ghouls squad, I would have made the exact same decision.
Gentlemen, it seems to be a matter of forcing it. One of them just wanted it more, and one of them just had a better go at it. And right now, that's AP Bren. AP Bren, same situation as what, maybe 4 minutes ago, where it said, Burmese Ghouls, you have to seize the day. You have to know that this is your window. This is your power spike. It slipped away. We're at 13 minutes. What were you saying, Wolf, earlier? 15? Forget about it. It's AP Bren's game now.
2 minutes. I mean, 2 minutes left until we hit that point, but with the 4K lead that AP Bren have, I definitely understand the sentiment, especially when we start looking at the items as well. We got Ice Queen Juan already finished. Like, if anybody gets even clipped by few, this could be a potential problem.
Exactly. It's a massive problem. And then you're looking at Flaptizi, who can man the front lines now with Antikiras as well as Dominance Ice. That's the 2 items that literally shuts down 3 heroes of Burmese Ghouls. That's the Brody out, that's Carbon's Lapu-Lapu out of the equation, and also that's Nico getting neutralized by just the itemization that we see from Flaptizi.
Man, I hate to be the kind of commentator that goes, hey, you missed a spot, but are we missing out on big ticket NetherRealms? Is that just me?
I feel like, as much as we would like to believe that big ticket NetherRealm is going to actually make a difference in these cases, let's also consider the fact that AP Bren have really good ways of smothering their opponents, right? Like looking for those disengages. Flaptizi doesn't necessarily always have to engage. He can just slow them down. Hey, Final Slash, push you away. Oh no, you got the Guinevere, spatial migration away. And few never wants to be in that forward position. So therefore, he's going to be the next person to deter their opponents. I just don't see a way for Burmese to be able to collapse on their opponent other than Carbon and Kicks. Those are the only 2.
Yeah, they're juggling between the priority of Carbon, Blink X, protecting Stitch. That's a lot on the shoulders of Lina right now.
Are we expecting a hero play here, Wolf? Like, I'm looking for Blink X and Carbon. They got something happen somehow.
Expecting... Maybe no, but that's the only option now for Burmese Ghouls.
Yep.
Oh, look at
somebody has to make a hero play, but
it's melting.
Nobody setting it up from this bush though. Carbon coming in from
what
the
a reset.
long bush. No conceal play coming in from either side. Lord gets reset. I think AP Bren knows there's shenanigans afoot.
Yeah. And what they will be doing is to clear the mid lane first. Because their bottom lane is getting pushed out, but fortunately they have a turret anyway, so that's going to be taken care of. They might lose the turret because of this, but they will win the war. And Ogud gets the aggro. They will reset it again because now the Nolan can take care of the top lane. Every lane is gonna be a-okay for AP Bren. They even are slow pushing the bottom lane.
Oh, here we go. We were looking for it.
Wait.
The Ghouls find the conceal.
Good.
They
It's
move.
gonna be good.
They move into the river bush. And Kyle's
Lap
oh,
nose.
he knows.
Oh!
Blink comes in. No one gets pulled. It's Marco. It's the perfect target with the follow through as Blink X gets taken down. Oh no.
No.
It was a good intent, but they could not do the plan. And now they have to recover or conceal. Lord, AP Bren now, the ultimate opportunists, take the Lord and continue their assault.
You understand why he went for that play, but the timing was just not there. And AP Bren was more veteran to foresee that kind of play.
Uh-oh, the gush coming in from Few. Flap, flickering back. Stitch gets him. And here's another one we were looking for. Few in trouble, down to about 8 HP. gets the heal, still playing with some range as the rest of AP Bren collapse. Down goes Carbon. Lina and Nico retreat. Super Marco still wants his man. One bullet short. The Ghouls are able to retreat. Damage control.
Oh man, Carbon overextended there. Like, he made the play, he needed to start moving backwards. You can't be wasting your time standing up front, hoping that you can keep on zoning them, especially once we reach this later stage of the game where AP Bren has so much more damage and your Lapu starts to fall off. Oh, I mean, if we could change anything, I just hope that Burmese... Oh!
Here we go! The Ghouls looking to punish. There's a big pull on the Ogwin. He does have an immortality. The defensive gush. Kyle Easy coming in and out, dashing through that wall. The Ghouls able to defend.
Like I mentioned earlier, it could have been so different had they waited just a couple more seconds more. We saw that Nolan rolling down. They had no idea that they were in that bush, but AP Bren, great game sense throughout. You know, walking up to kind of initiate something, and unfortunately Burmese Ghouls bit onto it too soon.
Oh, purple going over to AP Bren. What timing from Marco? What mechanics?
And by the way, that easy to the final match. I had to dodge the buff away from the Burmese Ghouls members. That was smart play, Mr. He did.
Oh, that was talent. And now the same thing to their
I love the idea that the planting flags are saying, no, this is mine. This is my problem now.
I get it in my mind.
It's upsetting, but at the time you can't blame, right? They're really far ahead. And now the goal is actually coming to a point where it's not necessarily...
Shout out sa mga viewers natin. Welcome to ChezyGaming.
I think that even in Burmese Ghouls, even
Yung
replay. We're still looking for that hero. We're still waiting for either Marco or even...
M5 World Championship Group Stage Day 1.
I find the perfect target.
The first match of this day.
The movie, they asked to vacate the cinema.
AP Bren versus Burmese Ghouls. The rematch.
That will be the worst.
From M2 World Championship.
I wish that would not happen to me.
Basically Inception, but as soon as the hype was about to go down, the lights go on. Like, what?
Yeah, people are bringing their phones into cinema trying to record it, and someone has to stop it at some point, right?
It wouldn't if I Judgment in the eye.
Now with the force spot, this is a luminous lord, mind you. This is not easy to take down. It's Bren. Look at them. Right in front.
That was so quick.
Alright, timing might be off. I wonder what Nico and Carbon are thinking, but yeah, no, here we go. Blink coming in, gets caught off by Fuse Projectile. Ogwin with a full-on combo, and Carbon coming in with the bravest fighter. Netherrealm saving them already. Blink with the pull, and Marco gets popped. Nico gets the kill. Carbon still alive. It's a 4v5 situation as the Ghouls come back to life, but they also have to come back to their base as AP Bren's minions come on in. They're being stopped. AP Bren.
The minions
they're
have
still
spawned.
good. They're fine, but they have to defend. Burmese Ghouls find the big kill, but they also have to put on the big boy pants and say, we gotta defend.
Oh my goodness. It's stressful to see.
Oh! You were saying, Easy gets a kill on Lina, but yes, what's stressful?
It's stressful to see your base under attack and the two people who are supposed to push it out and clear it out decide to go back into the fight and only leave Lapu by himself to do all the dirty work himself, man.
AP Bren are overloading the Ghouls. They were celebrating that win, that pickoff, but then again, you have to snap back to reality. This is what's happening right now. Ogwin finds a good on combo. Few puts out the gush. The Lord's still standing. Nico versus Kyle. Kyle versus Nico. And the minions. The Ghouls still alive.
Okay, a moment to breathe finally, especially for the Ghouls. The second wave is going to come on in, and they know that it's going to break at least one of these inhibitors, right?
Niccolo.
They might force it.
Oh,
Carbon comes in, gets hit with a final slash, serves up the fuse. Gush, and Carbon's still alive. What's going on? Blink coming in, looking for another big DJ. But he's gonna know, he's gonna respect the fact that he can't force anything.
What an intense defense coming up from Burmese Ghouls, and it's mainly because of AP Bren just taking the initiative, right? Taking the tempo of that mini game that they were playing. The fact that AP Bren was almost able to take out Carbon, that's actually massive if they took out the immortality, but fortunately for Burmese, Carbon still has the immortality for now.
And he's wailing away, gets hit with another
final
slash. Look at this Stitch! Popping! Kyle Theezy's immortality gets away. Where was the damage from? How did that happen?
Oh my
Did
god.
we just miss that exchange?
Talk about a Brody specialist, dude.
Right? Now, it was so quick. It happened all so fast, and even Divine Judgment was utilized at that moment.
Here's him. Carbon once more with the bravest fighter. It's as if this thing has no cooldown. And they defend. That top lane inhibitor falls. The mid lane stands.
Man. I would say AP Bren, they do have the better late game. They have the Gore, they have the Claw, they have great scaling across all of their players. But there was this old proverb for AP Bren where almost all of their losses during MPL Season 12 and some parts of IESF and some parts of the other tournaments that went out, it was, I believe it was SPS also, they struggled in the late game.
Oh, wait
They
up!
struggle in the late game!
Where was that from? Marco gets caught out by Stitch. I was on Wolf's story as they do struggle in the late game. But wait, here we go. This Lord fight, this is an unprecedented situation for the Ghouls. They have never had a game this good against AP Bren right now, the situation. Blink gets hit with the final slash, Carbon slashing away at Few. He's getting smothered by 4, gets his immortality pop as the rest of the Ghouls wail away at the Lord and invoke Lord, their very first Lord. Can Nico get it in? Yes, he does. Retribution is good. And now, the NetherRealm saving Blink. They're going to get the pull onto Flapdeezy. Not going to even pop his immortality as the Philippine Cannon walks away. Stitch gets popped. 3 defenders from the Ghouls. 4 from AP Bren looking to crash out into their base. This might be it. All the waves are crashing in. Top, middle, and bottom.
2 seconds to learn was fun.
Oh, they need the Lord. They need the Lord. There it is. Spawns down bottom. Mid lane inhibitor falls.
I mean, they can clear this up, right? They can clear this up. If AP Bren just take their time with this, they should be able to whittle it down. They've got 2 waves on their side, and if they've smothered both, at the very least, the Burmese Ghouls... Wait. No,
Oakland is back, by the way.
Is fine, right? Carbon's come back at 13.
It's 10. The longest
Flap.
20 seconds. Flap. Oh, gets tried to pull in. Does not happen. Lord gets taken down. 5 members of AP Bren here, applying pressure. Can the Burmese defend?
Carbon is alive.
Oh, here comes Carbon. Look at all the rifts, look at all the damage. A Divine Judgment on the Flapdeezy gets his immortality pop. And Carbon and Lina leaning hard on AP Bren. Carbon goes down, Lina goes down. Stitch just waiting, Flapdeezy gets popped. Ogwin loses his immortality. Oh, this is an actual life bar we're looking at, gentlemen. The Ghouls still here, 1 for 1. 23 minutes in.
They're ready to play. They've evened it up 10 to 10, 23 minutes into the game. We were talking about the fact that, hey, they've already missed their power spike. We're expecting AP Bren to really take full advantage of it. And now, with the creativity of the Burmese Ghouls, and especially with a couple of mistakes coming in from Super Marco, giving them a breath of life here. No inhibitors still, but if they get that next upcoming Lord, they might be able to even out the odds.
Whoa.
Blink.
Oh, that's a full-on combo. Into the skies they go. The NetherRealm saving them for just a little bit longer. Kaltizi, look at this. Watching, waiting. Commiserating. Does not find the combo. And Nico goes in, uses the immunity and dashes away, gets his immortality pop, and he's gonna go down here unless he has something to say. Another set of iframes, dashes on through, stays himself, turn apart memory, popping, fuse immortality, and that's 1 big HP bar, 1 resource that AP Bren have to look out for.
Crazy mechanics for both teams. Stitch used the flicker forward when they're trying to get back. What the hell?
I wouldn't have even considered it, only because, number 1, he's got immortality. Number 2, Lord spawning in 30 seconds, he's not going to have his flicker.
But Few, my oh my. There was, 5 years ago, he was called Mr. Buy himself at a certain point. Bought the immortality at the right moment. You can see Stitch, oh my goodness, he bought the immortality in just a split second.
He knows.
Oh man, thank you for the instant replay coming in from Kidia. As now we get to a very critical moment in this game. And I mean, considering that Lina hasn't been dying as often as you would like to imagine, he's been stacking up real good here.
Okay, 23 minutes. Flapdeezy went for a game-changer item. I love it. Twilight Armor. There's a lot of big bursts coming up from Burmese, including the Brody damage. If you count the Ghost Bursters from Lina, that's also massive damage that you take out. That's going to be a game-changer now for AP Bren.
Speaking of which, here's another dance. This is the fifth Lord of the game. 25 minutes scaled. No longer gonna get stronger. Flapteasy gets pulled in. Forcing it out. That flicker gets hit with a divine judgment. Still alive though. Down to a tenth of his health as ChezyGaming scores. Now Ogwin gets to use his ult. Full-on combo coming in, still alive. Forcing it out. Nico gets the kill. Nico gets popped by Marco though. And that's a 1-for-1. 2-for-1 now. As Few gets caught out in the back. Carbon goes. 2-for-2 as well. ChezyGaming finds Sweet. And there's a pop. ChezyGaming just going from target to target to target. And now it's just Lina and Blink. The winner Tranche coming in. Flapteasy still alive, gets pulled in. Final slash by the Filipino Cannon as he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Blink is the only one left. Can he defend? AP Bren coming in with the Lord. And they are going to take this series in a 2-0 sweep.
History tends to repeat itself, but my God, with the new faces of the Burmese Ghouls, they put up one hell of a defense up against AP Bren, but it still was not enough. AP Bren take the game 2-0.
A showdown of mechanical skills that we saw. There's so many items sold on so many items bought. A fraction of a second, the decision making, even the NetherRealm, the big ticket NetherRealm that we were looking for, pretty much on point that time. But the Winter Truncheon usages, the Winded Natures, all those flickers, all of those immortalities being popped, and then Winter Truncheon being bought afterwards. My oh my, what a game.
That really was a great way to open up M5. We got to see a little bit of everything, you know, the mechanics, the overall decision-making, the creativity is what I'm very impressed by from both of these squads. At the end of the day, this is going to be setting a very high bar as we move on with the rest of today's schedule.
The Ghouls
Congratulations to AP Bren.
Forced AP Bren to learn on the fly.
Exactly.
There was a moment, I'd say, what was that, 19, 20 minutes, wherein AP Bren said, all right, we have to take this slow because they're pulling out something new. The fact that Carbon was just coming in, as soon as I have this ult off of cooldown, I'm going in. Blink is, again, doing the hero play like it's nothing.
Yeah.
He's just baiting it out to a certain degree, right?
The last Lord Dance was actually a result of AP Bren learning. What they did was Flapteasy picking up the Twilight Armor, fronting for the team, and actually took so much time away from the entirety of Burmese Ghouls. And you see Carbon tried to go and look for the HP bar of the Lord. They want to see it, right? So they want to have a vision of the Lord. That's why they put Carbon in after they were trying to kill Flapteasy. But because of that, Flapteasy stayed alive. After the fact, they almost won that fight afterwards. But then again, AP Bren just already took the Lord. They have the damage already, and ChezyGaming was also on point that last match.
It was a matter of inches, to be honest. Like as soon as AP Bren just added up all of these little learnings, they came out on top.
They really did. I mean, it was a great match to watch, but obviously there can only be one MVP, brought to you by the Republic of Gamers. Let's have a quick look at who it's going to be. Give a wave, give a shout out to your boy. He's played so well, and I think the entirety of the team does deserve it, but there can only be one, and it's going to ChezyGaming because the man is an absolute assassin.
The heir to the TZ Blade. When he won the MPL Philippines Season 12 Championship, I ran into him earlier that day, and he said, Leo, it's just another day. It's just another day. And here, he's opening up M5 with a performance like this.
Yeah. And he's actually like literally bringing back the memories of all of those fans of ChezyGaming back in M2. It relies heavily on mechanical skills that you will be always surprised. And interestingly, this is also Burmese Ghouls recovering. There's a big 1v1 in here as he's able to take out Stitch, and it will be repeated again. Few being taken out, and ChezyGaming still taking out Stitch. That was the great fight coming out from ChezyGaming. And here's the first try coming out from Blake, and watch ChezyGaming again. Just completely wrapping around, not committing at all, not even showing himself. He tries to be literally an assassin in this game.
Yeah, I just love the ideas that were coming out throughout the match, right? But you can definitely see the adjustments from both sides in the way they kind of approach the situation. Obviously, we were looking for main targets like Few as well as Super Marco, but at the end of the day, it's how you get them out, and they punish that aggression, and even ChezyGaming was being a part of that process.
I think one of the things that we haven't really mentioned about ChezyGaming's MVP performance is his patience. He's able to learn on the fly. He's able to pick out targets, which is, again, just experience and wisdom, but he's also so patient.
You can see the Few masterclass with Winter Truncheon, and now the immortality being bought. Look at that fraction of a second. He gets out. And here's the play. Once again, good NetherRealm. But they were able to punish Nico because he's out of the range of the NetherRealm. Good Winter Truncheon coming up from Flap. buying more time and there's no skill transfer. Then Kaltizi getting out and then going for the combo. Fade away coming out from Kaltizi. Then he buys Immortality, then the Winter Truncheon afterwards.
Just great.
These guys are
overall
cracked.
plays. I mean, these are the best of the best. This is the top 1% of the world playing on the world stage, and this is what we've been waiting for the entire year. I'm considering the mechanics. Let's go into the nitty-gritty here as we will go and take a look into the emblems in the post-match stats. I'm curious to see what they brought into this game because immediately I'm looking at it. Oh, Stitch didn't go for the Weapon Master. He decided to go for the Tenacity instead for the laneability, well, quote-unquote, laneability.
Laneability? I love it. New term coined in the dictionary of Gideon. But one thing that I do want to take note is, that Tenacity picked up by Stitch meant that he might have lasted during the lane stage, but you can see how difficult it is to deal with the Nolan. The burst damage that you can get out of it. Nobody from Burmese Ghouls was able to last that. And now, when the items, unfortunately, the last set of items that they have doesn't tell the story at all. Nope. Even Super Marco sold his last item because he's shuffling between Immortality. The Rose Gold Meteor was even in that build order of his. And that's also true with Flap TZ. For example, you're seeing Winter Truncheon here, but at a certain point in time, there's Immortality, there's the Twilight Armor, and then the Queen's Wings coming out from Ogwyn. Like, you cannot just look into this, the stats that you're looking at, the images that you're looking at the last, and already define what happened in the game. You really have to watch this banger of a game.
It's one of those situations where you're looking for pre-builds and you're like, it doesn't really tell me why exactly I need to build this in this particular order. But let's have a look at our rich guy coming in for Kyle T. He's coming up huge in this game. I would have expected it to be somebody else, but man, Kyle has put on a masterclass performance and 22 purple buffs secures throughout the game.
That's a lot, actually. But you can see the Lina on this Faramir still dealt the most damage. I mean, we were not really talking about him. We weren't really necessarily talking about this guy the entirety of the game because we weren't seeing like the Nether Realms, but the Ghost Bursters usage coming out from this guy. Also, you're seeing the Shadow Stampede catching many members of AP Bren. There was even the time where he was able to force the Flicker so that eventually Blink now can commit the Divine Judgment. The combo, the double pull setup coming up from Burmese Ghouls was good. However, AP Bren eventually took over the game. Let's look at the most damage taken, and yeah, it's natural that it was Flap TZ actually.
I mean, I don't expect anything less coming out of Carbon. This man was on a mission to just get deep into enemy lines and making sure that few did not feel comfortable ripping that all out of nowhere.
What's impressive is that Nico is a solid second to the damage taken. So he understands the assignment that I'm both a sweeper and a way to check bushes.
Went for the Sky Guardian helmet rather late in a way. Maybe it's because of the farm, but it was like he was already defending their base when he got that Sky Guardian helmet, but that allowed him to be in the front lines and still output the damage with the Decimate. I think there were many standout performances from many players, but also some mistakes that you can see. Like even Super Marco getting in the river, getting picked up, Blink missing his Divine Judgments, but at the same time, you will forget all of those mistakes because everybody was just, like I said, cracked in that game.
A very long game indeed. Very creative is the most important part because we're expecting a lot more as we go deeper in towards this tournament. Now remember, we're still in the group stages, so once again, congratulations to AP Bren winning 2-0, and it's important that they take as many of these wins as possible without dropping a single one. We don't want to get into that tiebreaker situation to play those extra games, but at least for the side of the Burmese Ghouls, it's important for them to keep on winning in a sweep fashion to maybe get into the knockout stage.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not like any of these teams were bad. Everybody's great. There's a reason why you're here at the world stage. But in cases like this, especially when you beat your opponents 2-0, you got to show that you're better than great. And AP Bren did more than just that. AP Bren showed that, hey, we have the mechanics, we have the macro, we're able to learn on the fly, and we're able to open up the show, open up this World Championships with a win.
Thoughts from you, Wolf, right? Especially since this is the opening match for everybody. Has this kind of set the expectation for everybody to kind of compete with?
I think they set a very high bar. I would really fear for the other teams, but especially after seeing like Burmese Ghouls challenge AP Bren, the favorites of the tournament. They're one of the 3 kings that was you can see from the trailer. So it did set a very high bar when it comes to expectations.
Oh, can't wait for these other matches to actually occur. But once again, M5 is powered by Muntun, presented by Kadia, our global presenting partner, supported by ROG, our official gaming phone, Grab, our official super app partner, and Secret Lab, our official chair partner. Now, up next, we'll be bringing you the matchup between Saudi Arabia's Falcon Esports and Laos's Nightmare Esports. Kind of crazy, so don't go anywhere. The M5 World Championships will keep on going. And honestly, I feel like I'm still stuck in the wild cards because that's literally what happened the last time.
That's right.
Keep in mind, guys, the upcoming match will be happening shortly, but more importantly so, I'm curious, speaking of wildcards, I may have given a bit of a hint because Team SMG is next up on that chopping block here.
Yeah. I'm actually excited about to see Team SMG because I think that they prove a lot. I love their writings. You know?
I love their writings too. With that being said, we're going to go on a short break, and when we come back, more MLBB action. It's like the homecoming.
This wish in the back pocket.
The caster didn't ask for. Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm going to hold my comments for now. Oh, look at that. You know, MP Series stats. The Raksasa's return. Because the last time we saw Sasa in the Philippines was for an international MLB tournament. It was when he won MSC 2019.
That's right, 4 years ago. Almost 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
And here he is. Oh, I put this young man, Kaibin, in my top 10 greatest. I believe he deserves that spot.
Without a doubt. I mean, I wasn't even questioning it to begin with.
Well, look, we are 10 seconds away from getting inside the game, and we are 10 seconds away to see what are the cards. Maybe SMG team brought some wild card from the international experience that they had earlier on. So let's get in depth a little bit into the draft, and let's get more in, let's spice things up and let's make it more interesting. Will it be Team Fireflux taking the first game, or it's gonna be SMG? And more importantly, will it be a full series as we all expected or not?
I think it's likely that Fireflux will come in, ironically, guns a-blazing. I think it's Fireflux who will shock us. And then SMG is gonna, you know, show their experience, show that they are from a region that has been around since 2018, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think that especially when it comes down to game ones with the style that Team SMG plays, usually if they get that lead, then it should go rather smoothly. We're trying to see whether or not, well, actually, the more that I think about it, and the more so with the fans here, it's quite the homecoming for the Filipino players for the side of Team SMG as we go into the drafting phase.
How do you join and become a Saxonatic?
A Saxonatic?
A what?
Oh boy, we're starting a new fan club.
That's them.
That's them?
They are the Manila chapter of Saxonatics.
I should have known. I should have recognized them. Maybe it was the sign. Maybe it was the sign that I missed out. As we get into the drafting phase, it looks like Team SMG is going to be on the blue side with Fireflux on the red side. Let's get this show on the road. Immediately, we are seeing Khalid bans. We're seeing Fanny bans. We're seeing Juan as well as Bruno.
Well, seeing that Team Fireflux have already banned 2 marksmen indicates, and only let us know very obviously that they are familiar with Sasa's heroes, and not just that, they know that his 1-1 is so special. And on the other side, there is not much of a focus on a certain, let's say, role. There's a multiple banning phase happening there. Fanny in terms of the jungle, Khalid on the side, on the XP lane, and Gulliver, which is one of the most, in MENA, we call it Joker picks, you guys call it Flex picks. So XP, I think that pretty much everywhere except for the gold lane.
Stage day 1.
Okay, if that's the case, this next ban coming out from Fireflux coming in as the farm is rather interesting. At the very least, it's not just all 3 target bans.
Yes, this is diverse. Again, this is what we can expect from 2 teams from very different regions here clashing now at the world stage. Coach Pao has a lot on his mind.
Drop the beat of the flag.
I would say the Nolan was open. I would say the Matilda's open, but look, he goes for the Joy.
Joy is in an interesting position, right?
Yeah.
Because again, it's a great way to kind of flex out upon your opponents, and more so, you don't well, flex out in 2 roles only, not 3, not that S tier.
Yeah. But look, actually Joy is one of those picks that can be used at the jungle and also on the XP lane. So, and actually, both players at Team SMG have proven that they can use Joy in multiple places. But what's really interesting for me is the Valentina pick, because whenever you see a Valentina, you always know that the other team, the opponent team, in this case it's SMG, cannot use certain heroes such as the Atlas, or let's say one of those heroes that you are afraid to have their ultimate stolen from them. Having the Tresla with the penalty zone, I think that's pretty much, let's say, a classical draft so far.
I think things are going exactly how we expected it to be, but at the very least, right, we are seeing some familiarity. Banning out the farmers, picking up the Valentina. You know, some very common tactics that we see from a lot of these teams, but that opens up a lot of big picks. It's going to be the Matilda and the Arlet locked in.
Okay, to be fair, Fireflux actually allowed for these ults to be open, and they picked up the insurance policy. They put the Valentina in Rose's hands, allowing him to pick and choose. I want the final slash. I want the soaring eagle circling.
Well, it's so hard actually to kind of, let's say, bet on that and leave the other team play with whatever they want just by having the Valentina. So I kind of cannot agree with Team Fireflux, but again, we can agree to disagree. They have their own mindset. They have Bang Golsif to tell them what to do and what to pick. But the Brody here, I think that they will continue pressuring on that gold lane.
I think, you know, a lot of it, Team SMG's stability comes down to their individual laners and how well they actually perform, whether it be in Smooth or whether it be in Sasa. But in this particular case, Fireflux is leaning in on making sure that the Kage is not going to be comfortable. They ban, Team SMG banning out the Lancelot while Fireflux is taking away the Lilia.
Yep, first phase they attacked Sasa, and now they're attacking Smooth, and then back to Sasa, rather Stormy. Now, something to note. What's gonna happen when we go to pick TNZ's hero, formerly known as Cura, if you guys were watching MSC? Because they attack the Lancelot, there's so many choices left. Are they forcing him into a utility jungler, or are they forcing him into the Nolan? Because Nolan's still out there.
Nolan is still out there. I agree with you. But, I mean, considering everything that's put into play, we might have something else come on the table. Hey, fun fact, Reign of Stars, Rosa posed a 100% win rate on Novaria in 5 games at MTC Season 2. And, finally, we do get to see the Nolan ban.
Yeah, and as I told you, after taking the marksman or the gold laner generally at Team Fireflux, they will continue pressuring Sasa a little bit, but here comes the funny part for me. There's a lot of picks that are still there. They can be used for the team, for the side of Team SMG. They haven't yet chosen the marksman, but the Beatrix is there, and there's a lot of other picks for Team SMG. So far I would say that the early phase of the draft, I kind of lean towards Team SMG.
I think I could agree with that sentiment as well, but it's highly dependent on which side of the map it's going to be playing around. And I feel with Fireflux, they're considering where their bans are, I think they're going to be, again, playing towards the gold side. Baxia gets locked in, so that answers your question. They're not going to go for the assassin. They want that utility jungle, and more so, they want to maintain their tempo against Team SMG.
So that means the roamer might also make a difference here for Fireflux. They need someone who's very proactive. They need someone who can go toe-to-toe or at least run by TNZ's side. They want someone to go up to speed with him, and instead of going, it's been a long right? You don't want to leave the Baksha hanging.
That's true. That's also true. I'm thinking like along the lines of maybe even Angela if we're really, really like forcing it out, right?
You're always there.
Exactly. But then again, Team SMG, they could pick it up on this side, but I'm not sure about the lane priorities at this point.
Well, having a Baxia on the side of Team Fireflux actually gives them that flexibility, but look at Team SMG, they will just have one of both these, let's say, supports in the mid lane, maybe mostly it's gonna be the Angela. But going back to my point, talking about Tenzi or Tainzi with his Baxi, I think that he have proven so many times that Team Fireflux, he can be the sole Reaper, I would call him, for Team Fireflux. He always goes in with a fast rotation and takes what he wants.
Man, how did you see that Angela come in? It's like you're from MPL Malaysia or something.
It's crazy. It feels like the MY in my heart is the same as the MY on stage. If you look at the audience predictions, thank goodness, because apparently here in Malaysia itself, we have a population of nearly 150%.
Thank you.
People flew in. People flew in. For the wildcard, they're still there apparently.
Just to send in their votes. But look, the rest of the world is still leaning. I mean, there's still parts that still believe in Fireflux, especially from the EECA. It's good that they have that support, but honestly, I'm ready to have my expectations either be met or completely ruined.
Well, I will tell you that your expectations, if they are towards Team SMG, for them to win, they have to win the early game phase, because whenever they lose the early game phase, it's so hard for them to recover. Well, seeing the draft here, I would say that Team Fireflux have a lot of pressure to apply, but let's see together.
Well, with that being said, as we go in towards the Land of Dawn, we have our second best of 3 matchup here at the M5 World Championship between Team SMG versus Fireflux Esports. Team SMG on the blue side, Fireflux Esports on the red.
We're already seeing a little bit of spice here as Fireflux finesses this Hilda into that roam. Apex 47, known for his Estes, known for his Atlas, now picks up a hero that lives in the opponent's jungle. So something tells me a part of Fireflux actually wants to go fast, and this is the right hero, right? This is the hero that we were looking for, someone who can run alongside TNZ's Baksha as he wails away at Nico at half health. Oh, wow. Fireflux already off to a great start.
I mean, it is just level 1, right? And that's what we should expect for the side of Fireflux. They need to start creating advantages around in the side lanes, and this kind of gives us a rough idea that they do want to play towards that gold side. But Boxy is starting on his purple. He's going to be ending up on the top side of the map, and it's going to be pretty crazy, right? These are potential expectations in terms of items. Don't get too confused just yet. It's only a minute and 20 seconds into the game.
I think that Avix is trying so hard to just pressure, I would say, the jungle area, but so far he cannot do that much because of the slowdown coming from the Angela and as well as the Matilda. So I would actually say that Team SMG, in terms of the rotation, they have to focus on their gold lane a little bit because they have 2 supports. So there's nothing better than having 2 supports. I think that these are actually the most banned supports in all the tournaments, not just the internationals.
They usually never get slipped through, but keep in mind.
Oh
wait.
Oh, Miko trying to help out Lord Smooth, committing his flicker because again, he ran into a 3-man mid-rotation from Fireflux. It's tough. And now the Turkish have priority over the First Lord.
Yeah,
Rather Turtle.
I don't think Team SMG is going to contest this at all, right? I mean, we're seeing that, unfortunately for Smooth, he's not level 4. He's already in a difficult matchup against Alien on this Drizla. Top side getting harassed early on, so it's difficult for Sasa to actually take trades for the time being. And Nico just getting stopped in his tracks with Fireflux parking in their jungle.
Well, if you got to watch Team SMG, you will think that they are kind of robots, but in a good way, because whenever they win the early game, whenever they have that chance, they continue.
Uh-oh! Alien here put down to 1/10 of his health. Yenzi to the rescue, keeping his XP laner alive. And just like that, Alien's back at it again. Let me get some heals here. Brave Smite doing its job. Stormy in mid does have the Hearth Guard, and it is off of cooldown. Didn't use it quite yet. So maybe now we see Team SMG actually, you know, put up a fight.
Well, I don't know. Personally, for me, when I'm thinking about like Stormy on Angela, my blood starts to boil because he's such a mechanically gifted player. So why put him on something so, I wouldn't even say brain dead to a certain degree, but something that doesn't allow him to express the way that he plays as we go into this pause.
He throws out those love waves, just pixel perfect.
Pixel perfect.
I'm trying to help him out, man.
I mean, it's got to be something. Like, the timing obviously is going to be good. But yes, Yasu, as you were wanting to mention earlier.
Yeah, I was saying that Team SMG, whenever they control the early game, I think that this what makes them go into their own comfort zone. Well, Team SMG, when they control the early game, I think it's, I'm not going to say easy, but it's so hard to take it away from them. And for Team Fireflux, they are used to have good trades. So far, I think they are playing, Team SMG are playing so passively, and I think they should actually, because they don't have that much of a front lane thing. But yeah, I don't know actually what to say here, but Team SMG, I thought they will like play a more aggressive early game.
I think now is the time. After Stormy hits level 4 is when they can actually be proactive.
Uh-huh.
Because the Hearthguard can actually time out or find the pickoffs where TNZ is not. Because again, there's that whole counteracting Baksha's mark with the whole Hearthguard. You have less shields, less regen. So maybe that's where Stormy's mechanics can come through, is those last minute, last second final calls. Do I go in here? No, psych! I'm gonna jump into someone else.
But thinking of it, how much shield? Like, I think it's a disgusting amount of shield that Team SMG has, right?
I agree. I feel like if we had to kind of summarize what Team SMG is playing, it's a catch me if you can style of composition.
They have all the shields. That's a scientific number. All the shields.
All the shields. They've got the CC as well, and they also have the mobility to kind of like run circles around you, right? Like this is what we should expect for the side of Team SMG. And don't get me wrong, this is not exactly the easiest comp to play, especially considering that Fireflux likes to have that ube kind of style. Play together, fight as a team, move as a team.
So now we're looking at when they pull the trigger. Are they waiting for Sasa? Are they waiting for Saksha? Let's see here, because right now, it's no secret. The Turkish are saying when the fights happen, like this now, right now. Tianzi coming in, forcing a fight. Apex as well. I can't believe it. It's a 2v4 and they know it. Sunshine holding this Y bush, puts a few stacks on to the Kage as they both back off.
Yeah, unfortunately with the Joy, the early game damage may not necessarily be there. It does take a little bit of ramping up to build to that point. But in the meantime, at least for Sasa, he's on the Beatrix, right? And we know that traditionally, even if Beatrix is in a quote-unquote losing matchup, clearing the waves is also an option.
And I would actually also want to add one more point. There is a strategy called Protect the King, and that's by protecting the gold lane. I think that the gold lane at this moment for Team SMG, like calling Sasa out here, should be served to the best, because you have two supports, one of the best, if not the best supports at the current meta. So whenever there's pressure on Team SMG at the top lane, I think they have to prioritize to save Sasa and make him farm even more.
I think I agree with the sentiment there, especially with the micro rotations that are going on, sending him into the mid lane, picking up that wave, and then quickly rotating with the help of the guiding winds from Miko to get back top.
There we go. Second turtle fight coming in, circling Eagle. Denzi still able to hit the retribution, and now Saksha regretting everything, running on out. Miko with the guiding winds, now Smooth still holding on to the final slash. No one home.
Catch me if you can, I'm telling you. It's difficult to kind of lock them down, but down
bottom. Sunshine barely gets away, but that was a close call for Sasa, calling in Stormy for the Hearthguard, and the fight continues. Apex winning away at Miko as we tell the tale of Arlet.
By getting near to that 5 minutes, we see that there's a switch lane that happens so fast, but what's also so fast is Saxa.
Oh, still Apex. This man is relentless. Oh, interesting. That stat down bottom might as well tell the story of how Arlet might be, what, foiled by Trisla?
Yeah.
Because the stats look better.
I mean, the stats definitely are going to look better
overall.
Oh, Miko.
He should be out of there, no problem, right? I mean, they're not going to dive this after they've used the Hearthguard. It's about to time out in about, like, 4 seconds more.
Yep, this is a stolen Hearthguard, by the way, from Rosa. And as early as 5 minutes, they're already pulling a Turkish Ube as Miko tries to defend Stormy's position. Apex commits the power of wildness. Apex deep down enemy territory as Kenzie rolls in like the Autobots, forcing another flicker from Miko. And now next Stormy on the docket, flickering on, now gets hit by the Poissons. And now Miko's up next. Sasa can't do much. In comes Smooth. Can he do anything? Dashes out through. Final slash. Serving up Genzi, but Sasa does not have the damage just yet. Sunshine pulls the trigger. Torn apart memory. Smooth folded in half.
I think that Smooth came in a little bit late. He was so late for that Team 5. On the other side, you see the Team Fireflux are utilizing, taking that turret down. I think the Team Fireflux took more than what this team fight was offering.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. And wait, this isn't a solo kill, right? He should be okay, right?
Oh! The DPZ not going to be able to save him. You were saying?
Yeah, I think that overall, the way that Fireflux is playing, it's actually pretty smart, right? But keep in mind that Team SMG are quite accommodating. For an example, we did see Stormy kind of flicker in an awkward manner, but he really understands that it's more important to give that kill over to Tianzi than to give it over to someone like Sunshine.
Look at this. After the turtle take, Team SMG looking to punish Apex. Not going to happen as he dashes on through the bushes using the Hilda's passive. It's tough. Fireflux taking all the turtles, going 2K ahead here, 7 minutes in.
Well, there's something that really irritates me about that, and they are and that's that Team SMG are focusing with Smooth more than they are focusing with Sasa.
I think they believe that at least for Sasa, it's easier for him to clear these waves in comparison to Smooth, who's already not only having a bad matchup in that 1v1, but more so, his wave clear isn't as effective.
Well, I would agree with you, but again, let's look at the in-game equipment here. We see that the Beatrix already got the Blade of Despair. On the other side, there's 2 items, though. Sunshine's actually doing really good.
Oh, it looks like Team SMG might be looking for a play here. I wonder if they knew that Rosa was in the bush. Rosa, by the way, stole the Hearth Guard, and up top, this is odd. They planted Saksha there for about 2 minutes now. Smooth! Gonna get taken down. What's happening to SMG?
This is what I was talking about, right? It's one of those moments where you want to see Team SMG kind of thrive, but it's really difficult with this style of comp, especially if Fireflux are going to be stuck so close together.
Well, Team Fireflux are actually doing really good with that draft. I wasn't, at the beginning, at the first phase, I wasn't agreeing with the draft that Team Fireflux had, but by seeing everything, like by seeing all the teams pick up all their heroes and showing us the strategy, I think that Team Fireflux are actually nailing it.
Yeah, Sue. Early in the draft, you were already not agreeing with the Turkish ube, and here they're showing you this is the Turkish ube.
Oh, but is it? I think that the ube relies on the healing, though, right?
It's delicious. I mean, they stole the heal. They did steal the Heart Guard, so they have that going for them.
They did have that going for them, but at the very least, ChezyGaming, right, he's really taking advantage of his EXP lead. He keeps seeing Saksa hang around on the top side of the map, so he has been coming down to quickly tax him, put that brass tax on him.
But there's something I really wonder about. When does SMG get more, let's say, aggressive? Because 3 turtles in, Fireflux takes them all, and even with that Lord, it's so hard for them to contest.
I think it's a matter of a window. Team SMG is looking for a window. So far, they've been very passive. They've been taking trades, and it hasn't punished them as hard. But wait, this might be it. Alien down to a third of his health, forced to use a DPZ, and ChezyGaming looking for the clap back. A turn. Sunshine presses the button. Torn apart memory. Sasa going back. Oh, Lord Smooth with a final slash. Serving up an ult to Sasa. That's Nibiru's passion. Smooth taken down. Team SMG misses the window.
Anti-synergy once again, the final slash pushing them out of Bennett's rage. A little unfortunate there. I think they could have used it as zoning. Wait,
here we go. Kenneth Fenelin finds Rosa in the back, and the Joy gets its first actual assassination in the back line there. Amazing. He's able to dash right through. The Sakshanatics go wild.
Yeah, Saksa knows when to go in and how to go in. And by taking that kill, I think that this might be the first
still managing
time that we see Team SMG actually fight.
Bit by bit.
Yeah, I mean, they are looking to get into these fights, but it can get extremely difficult, right? Because I'm imagining them trying to chase down a kill. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing the Toys Poissons just get laid across the floor, and you're just taking damage for no reason. Oh, Miko's playing with fire. Oh no.
ChezyGaming answers back, and the rest of SMG were there. You were saying.
Yeah, I think that at a moment's notice, things are going to change. But I think that Team SMG are only going to get proactive once we hit the later stages of the game. For the time being, I think Fireflux have full control.
And also, I would say that Team Fireflux at this moment, I'm not going to say they have a lot of gold lead, but they don't want to take this Lord actually. They are looking to fight.
It's a slow take here. The Turkish want to dance. Rosa with a stolen circling eagle, putting Miko down to a fifth of his health. Lord here at half. Alien kiting, Alien pulling. As CNZ says, let's call it off. Not a good Lord take here. They reset.
Saksa's going to show himself.
Whoa, here we go. Conceal play. They spawn out Smooth. Flickering on out. Final slash. And all but the kitchen sink left to take down Smooth. And here comes the rest of them. Saksha gets a Heart Guard in. Miko says, let's go. Alien gets caught out. The damage once more. Not enough. Fireflux retreats. Not a single casualty.
Fireflux understand the only person who can kind of set up a kill for the layup is Smooth. So you take him out of the equation and you can see them just kiting away from people like Saksa, who is currently, yes, he's catching up in EXP, but he doesn't have his third core item to actually deal enough damage.
Gideon, what you're saying is Smooth is the alley, the rest of them is the oop, and we've been only seeing oops.
Yep, it's painful. It's painful to watch, but at the same time, this is how Team SMG plays it when they are behind. Keep in mind, fine. It's only a 3.6k lead. We're not seeing anywhere close to an 8k lead or even a 10k lead just yet, which could be very dangerous for Team SMG.
And for Team Fireflux, actually, after seeing the itemization of all the members, they are focusing so hard on that defense items in terms of the magical defense. So actually, they are they are totally right, because if you look at Team SMG, they have a lot of magical damage there, but some players of Team Fireflux were going for the Athena Shield, and some of them were going for the Radiant.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be a matter of time, because there'll come a time wherein items don't matter. You have to execute on it. Maybe if you're to the level of AP Bren and Burmese Ghouls from earlier today, where it actually matters how you juggle. Right now, it's about positioning. And speaking of, hey, here's one strength Team SMG has. They can plant Stormy here, and it'll bite them less in the butt, much like how Fireflux Esports has to commit these two, Apex and Rosa, taking the long bush on orange.
I mean, they didn't have to actually commit, but at least they're planting them there. They have an idea that if they start moving, they can immediately punish.
And actually, by having an Angela, you have that free space of pushing on the other side of the map, and Team Fireflux knew that.
Rosa with the stolen circling eagle, Kakao right into it, and there's the Bennett's Rage! Smooth with the final slash, and they take one down, make it 2 Alien Kenzie for Saksha, as Team SMG gets a winning trade. But in the grander scheme of things, they lost the retribution and they're still going. River Bush coming in, forcing Apex to come through. Smooth wailing away. Not enough damage between these 4 left. Team SMG back off. Fireflux holding their ground.
Okay, they're going to need a reset here for the time being. Maybe they can get him in turret. It could be difficult, but Rosa, just really nice play. He still doesn't even have to use his flicker. Again, Team SMG have missed the opportunity. Yes, they were able to get 2 kills, but now it's back to just wave management.
As I told you before, Chezy, I would actually like to call him the Soul Reaper. If you looked at his score, he's actually 6 out of 6 in terms of the kill. He's having 2 kills and 4 assists, as you can see, and he puts his final touches. Well, if we look at Team Fireflux and we wait for them until they get a Lord, we will take so long. They actually want to take the fight more than they want to take the Lord, and that is actually justified by having the Goldine and also having the control over the map.
Sunshine pulls the trigger there. Not enough stacks, but this is a slow-paced Lord dance. Gentlemen, can you believe it? Lord evolved. During the dance, he's like, come on, man. You guys gonna take me or not?
Yeah, and I think that, at least for both of these teams, nobody really wants to be committing too hard on this Lord. Because again, the engage and counter engages coming in from both sides are actually pretty devastating. And I think, Fireflux have learned their lesson. They don't want to give any more of a lead over to Team SMG. So, Team SMG must take the initiative.
And Genzi spot smooth in
Lord.
bush. Coming in with the final slash. It's Miko with his wisps who actually take it down. Big win for Team SMG, but they do lose smooth along the way. Fireflux doing damage control, backing off. Team SMG holding their ground here in mid. Tier 1 in jeopardy, gets taken down by the Turkish. And Saksha tries to look for the flank. In he goes, hard guard by Stormy, asking for the assist, and they back off. This is a perilous engage.
Yeah, a messy team fight, followed by a mid lane turret, followed by a kill. And actually, the one who takes that Lord was the rumor, so both junglers better luck next time. And look at Team SMG. You will see that they did recover, and that's actually the opposite of what I said earlier on. Team SMG, when they lose the early game, they don't recover well. Well, now they are answering me.
Yeah, I mean, they've been struggling to kind of set up this arm bar, really trying to pull it out of their hands to get them into that chokehold, but Fireflux have been doing a really, really good job at kind of slowing it down. But now it's coming to a point where, wait, hold on.
Miko gets folded in half. There's a trade though, the damage is real. Team SMG are obliging Fireflux, welcoming them with open arms as Sasa is fully loaded. Now Fireflux on the defensive, losing turrets, top, mid, bottom, big fat wave, and Saksha and the gang pushing them back. Now Stormy's feeling it. Now Stormy's just calling the shots.
He is. And honestly, coming to cinemas near you this December, Sasa Reloaded. I mean, the fact is that we're coming to a point where the items are starting not to matter. And that's where we see Team SMG actually building up that confidence. It's not like we're at a disadvantage. We're coming to a point where we can actually take you on toe-to-toe.
Well, looking at Sunshine especially, he's the first one who completed his itemization. And at some point, one of these Wind of Nature, can be a game changer because both marksmen have it, and if you look at Team SMG, you will know that this is the person you want to take out. It's Sasa. He's the most dangerous. He is the most favorite, let's say, player at the team currently because he is getting the assistance from both Matilda and Angela.
I mean, they're not gonna let him dry out against Fireflux Esports, right? I mean, he's the main source. I mean, does Apex get out of this?
Apex gets his immortality bomb, and here comes the rest of Fireflux looking for the turn. Smooth takes him down. Sunshine already used. The Wind of Nature gets taken down by Saksha, and now Rosa's up next on the docket. Down to a fifth of his health, healing up. The Hearthguard able to get him in. DPZ by Alien. Gonna survive, but for how long? 2-0 quick takes by Team SMG.
Now imagine being Smooth. You get shafted in lane, you get shafted in the draft itself, and when all hell breaks loose, he is still able to pull Sunshine out of position for his team. That's what you need in an EXP laner.
SMG team, they just bounce back, they just come again, and not just with the kills. Also, the first inhibitor turret mid lane is now wide open for Team SMG, and actually looking at the flipping tables or the turning tables, now they are the ones who want a team fight at the Lord and not just the Lord.
Yeah, no. Fireflux are a man down, so they forced the issue and dealt permanent damage as Sasa and the rest of SMG rush that Lord. That's the second for them this game, and can confirm it's now evolved. How's the Ube looking like right now? That Lord is dealing extra damage.
It's starting to be real difficult here, especially if Sunshine is always going to get thrown out of position. Keep in mind, it's not just about him, it's also Rosa as well, right? He needs to find correct ultimates, but Saksa can run both of these heroes down. So it's one of those push and pull situations, and right now the real-time win rate is looking heavily in the favor of Team SMG, despite the abysmal early game.
Well, that's how things should be, actually. Team SMG, as I said earlier on, they have that momentum and they have to use it to their favor, applying a lot of pressure with these international strategies that they have just faced. Team SMG, so far, have learned something, and that to recover from a really hard early game.
They continue to grow. That's what I love to see. Here we go.
Circling Eagle, answering back. Miko compromising. Fireflux's positioning. That's a final slash from Lord Smooth. Sunshine down to a fifth of his health. Gonna get popped here before he even gets to use his ult. And now Sasa gets spotted out. Apex takes him out. 2 for 1 so far. Fireflux winning the trade. This is our base. Get out of my base! As Fireflux goes ahead and takes down the Lord. Team SMG might want to check themselves before they wreck themselves, as Saksha here buys the immortality just in the nick of time. He's still up. Now he's down, unless, where's the delay damage? There it is! Alien sent him home.
Oh, that was painful. I got a huge sense of PTSD. Like, I've seen this happen before at the wild cards, and it's happening all over again.
So recent.
It's so very recent, right? You gotta give it up to Apex 47. The fact that he is positioned so far up, not only giving vision, but more importantly, disrupting Sasa between his auto attacks, and more importantly, disrupting that reload is so key to Fireflux's victory. The fact that we not only saw Apex disrupt him, but the commitment from Alien to ensure that it happens. Team SMG, after Saksa's full combo, lose all their damage when Sasa dies.
I would actually also want to... I would actually applaud for Apex because he made them distracted, so distracted the backline was in chaos.
Oh, circling Eagle, knocking up TNZ, final slash already committed, plus the Puisan, so both teams understand, hey, if we don't spend our ults, we might have died here. So with that said, Team SMG, they respect the fact that, hey, we kind of overcommitted there.
Well, look, at this point, I think that both damage dealers, the Saksa and also Sasa, are being treated as kings because at this moment, both of them can have the assistance of 2 supports, and not just that, you have the immortality, and not just that, even you can use the freeze or a Wind of Nature. So, at this point, I think that Team SMG is unkillable.
Unkillable is a statement. It kind of depends. I feel like it comes down to whether Team SMG want to fully commit. And I think that commitment condition really boils down to ultimate usage from the side of Fireflux Esports. If we learn anything from Fireflux, wait, hold up, Saksa is going pretty deep here.
He's checking into that bush, forcing Sunshine.
Oh my gosh.
To use the ult, that's a respectable amount of damage there that Saksha has to heal up. Oh, Gideon, you were saying?
Yeah, I think that at this point in time, Fireflux, they're waiting for the engagement of Team SMG to look to punish.
Yeah, no, they're so much better on the turn.
Do you guys think that we will see like a flicker final slash from Smooth taking everything away right now?
Only if we see Sunshine and Rosa really close together.
Looking for the setup. Smooth in the middle four. There's one. Displacing Genzi. Genzi steals it right underneath SMG's nose as they force Sasha to go ahead and juggle items. The hard guard not coming in clutch. 2 for none. Thank you very much. You get nothing, good sir, as Fireflux him just... Oh man, that's it. That's it. This is a big win. Just like that, and rubber bands over their side again.
They get another kill on top of that. 3 down. A Lord take as well, despite getting pushed away by Smooth. It just was not enough. Fireflux come out on top
with impunity. Everything that they've done, Team SMG could not answer back. Now they're inside the base. The first inhibitor is gonna fall, and that might be all they need. They're defending. Oh, no minions, no minions. Can they do it? Smooth and 10, smooth and 10.
Smooth and 10, Saksa in 17, and unfortunately Miko in 30, and it needs... what?
Wait.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's already one immortality done. It's not going to stop Fireflux from actually pushing in, but let's see if they're actually going to get greedy with it, because by the time that Lord actually makes it to that inhibitor turret, most of Team SMG is going to be alive.
Yeah, a few seconds ago, we have witnessed a massacre happening with the hands of Team Fireflux, and Team SMG now have to bounce back, have to come back from that, and coming back from such hit is so hard.
Here we go. This is all 5 members of each team in the base. Team SMG coming in, Alien, gonna get his immortality popped. There it is, underneath this Lord. You don't wanna fight. There is a passive, the extra damage. Sunshine, torn apart memory, Sasa, gonna get popped. His immortality still good. The base, Fireflux takes game 1.
Good game coming out from Fireflux. Just a tankier line of play, easy ways to actually look for these counter engagements, and more so punishing big mistakes coming out from the side of Team SMG, especially once the trigger has been pulled. They've been playing towards their own strengths, and honestly, well done to Fireflux Esports for game number 1.
They know the limits of the Ube, and they finessed that last bit of value from sticking together and punishing what SMG was forcing.
Well, that's a game I love to watch. Well, who else hates to see a one-sided game? I think it's not just me, right?
Oh, of course.
No one loves to see a one-sided game. So the game started with the team, with Team Fireflux dominating the early game, and then after a while, Team SMG managed to recover, and not just that, Team Fireflux comes back again to take the game and to go for a second match, having, let's say, a match point.
I mean, they're already at match point, but this is classic Team SMG shenanigans, right? I mean, I think it did feel a little awkward to see them play in this particular manner, and I don't think they were expecting to get this many priority picks. It came to the point where it kind of overloaded what their composition actually wanted to do.
This is too good to be true. What do we do with all of these good heroes?
It's just the penalty of capitalism. When you have too much, you don't know what to do with it, right?
Well, I think that this question was mainly asked by the Valentina, though. She had too much to choose from.
Exactly. I mean, even though it was, the amount of mobility that they have, the quote-unquote potential hospital meta that could have come out of this, thankfully with the meta shift, it didn't happen as well as it does. It doesn't change the fact that no matter how much mobility you have, if you only have 2 linchpins and one of them gets taken out when you need 2, you're not going to be able to win these fights.
Which comes back to an argument we had in the draft. The Ube is not defined by healing.
Okay.
The Ube is defined by the movements and the tactical calls that you have. So yeah, you could say they don't really have an Estes, a Rafaela, a Matilda, not even an Angela. It's SMG who had that in spades. But the way Fireflux moved, the way that they always try to bait with Apex and then clap back with like 3 or 4 hiding in a bush, that's the Ube. That's what defines what makes this work.
But does that make you remember, or actually reminds you of Blacklist's Ube?
Well, I think that there are a couple of variations, and I don't know whether it's, you know, with the, well, I wouldn't say acclimation, but the changes that have occurred with the roster itself has Renjay kind of left an impression, the Hitman himself, on the rest of the Fireflux, that it's like, maybe this is a new way of actually evolving.
Okay, to be fair, all types of Ube will remind you of the original, right?
All right.
You will always be deriving, you will always be looking at it from its main DNA, and with that said, I think this puts SMG in a very interesting situation.
Yeah.
If you'll remember, the last time Team SMG was in a World Championship was when the Ube, the age of Ube started.
And actually, like bringing back history, I don't think that Team SMG want to bring back history because at
Not
M3,
like this.
yeah, look at Gideon. Look at Gideon. They don't want to remember the M3, right? They don't want to remember that.
I don't remember.
Tough
what that
times.
was.
He doesn't already.
It's just a blank slate in my mind. Look, Malaysia has had a couple of abysmal performances, especially. I think that Team SMG, they want to correct that mistake once more. It's not exactly the best start in the world, especially in the best of 3 against Fireflux, but taking revenge is not exactly the easiest of roads, especially with the style that they play, right? It's either, especially for those who have actually dealt with the Ube strat, well, I mean, from the original source, a couple of potential solutions. Either you're looking for pickoffs, either you're looking to actually team fight with the team fight,
Or go much, much faster, as proven by the M4 World Champions.
But that for me, after you put it that way, I'm thinking, is the Ube strategy is the antidote of Team SMG? Is it like the medicine for them to not be able to play or perform well?
Well, I think it is a bit of a rock, paper, scissors matchup in that particular case, right? Because again, slow and methodical, want to kind of slowly choke you out, but
Dude, from Jakarta to Phnom Penh, now down to Manila, that'll make it a hat trick if he picks up the Atlas. Then.
I feel like it's too soon. We're going to have to wait till the knockout stage. But in the meantime, the drafting phase has begun. Match point currently in this best of 3 between Fireflux Esports up against Team SMG. I'm curious on which side that Team SMG has decided to go on this time to kind of change things up against Fireflux. And it looks like it's going to be blue side.
They're currently on the play, and I think this should change a little bit of the dynamic because, number one, this is where they started, but they learned. That's what I'm going here for here. They learned, yes, it's the same draft. Again, literally the same draft. It's Fanny and Khalid, and then you have the Bruno and Faramis for the first phase here.
Yeah.
But just the same, you never really lose if you learn. So I'm hoping they learn from their lessons in game 1, man.
Well, I think that Team SMG likes to take minimum risk, as like, let's say, the least amount of risk. If they didn't find a 100%, maybe I'm not 100%, but let's say 90 or like 85 to 100% opportunity, they will not even risk it. So they want everything for them to be prepared. And having that said, same first ban phase with having the Fanny, also the Khalid with the Guinevere, and on the other hand, the Bruno 1-1, as long as having the Faramis. But Valentina first.
Gideon, are you seeing this? They are cutting off from the main artery. They are nipping it at the bud. The Thorn Queen, as they're known, is no longer getting their hands on the Valentina.
You're absolutely right here. Because with the Angela given over to the side of Fireflux Impunity, yeah, it starts adding up now, huh? You're starting to get all the references. It's coming together. Don't you dare say it like that again. That's just disrespectful.
Peanuts.
But honestly, with the way that Fireflux plays, it's very much within their style. But now we get to see Stormy actually express himself in this game. And I'm hoping that it's going to make a difference, right? I don't want to disappoint because, Malaysian team, close to my heart. But Fireflux has been playing really well.
Just hype it up to here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't actually like the fact that the Matilda is still out there and also a lot of other picks. So I think that Team S, it's just basic. They will take the Matilda, and having also Akaya as their jungler, they will focus so much on the neutral objectives. And with that first phase of drafting, again, Team SMG have a really good solid first phase.
No way. Gideon, No way. Is this true? We've been seeing this young man in competition for years now. Is he really a human being?
I'm sorry, man. I've been keeping it to myself. The extraterrestrial is actually a human being. He is blood and bones inside. Nothing crazy going on with him. He is just absolutely cracked at the game. As we look deeper into this, right, we're actually seeing TNZ pick up the Joy. Now, this is going to be really interesting, right, because Joy is very much dependent on, you know, making the individual plays, and now with the supplementary help of that Heart Guard to make it a higher percentage of success.
Well, having their own weapons being used against them, that's the question here. Will they be able to play against the composition of having, as I told you, disgusting amount of shields? And also, if you look at the other side, who was it? So Stormy can steal the Heart Guard, and he also can be annoying. So there's a lot of shields here. I would expect to see a Matilda. An Esmeralda.
Yes. An Esme?
Yeah.
Totally off meta, but possibly. I mean, that's what I was expecting, because again, this is Turkey versus Malaysia. You guys still do that over there, right? You guys still get a little spicy, yeah?
Well, I mean, we don't go that spicy. I think, you know, the fact that we see Uranus alone is already pretty shocking. I felt like we've already moved away. Times have gone past Esmeralda and Uranus, but sometimes we still get a little bit of a taste of it. Worst comes to worst, I feel like Team SMG might just go Benedetta.
Wolf was looking for the Benedetta all of Series 1.
Let me tell you. You know what? I got to temper expectations here. When it comes out, it will come out. But in the meantime, they get rid of the Kufra, which I think is a really good option here, because it's coming. It's coming. I can feel it.
Well, the setup heroes being banned in the second phase from Team SMG actually indicates that maybe, just a maybe, we'll see Angela being used as the mid laner, and maybe also we will see a Lolita coming through, or even other picks. What happened?
The Lolita?
Yeah, we can.
Here we were talking about how Esmeralda's off meta.
No, but Lolita can do actually something, because if you looked at the penalty zone, if you looked at the setup that Team Fireflux has, they can use that space that Lolita or any area crowd control heavy tank, I would say, can provide for the team. So an area crowd control hero is a possibility here, because you don't need that much damage anymore in terms of the magical damage, because you already have Joy, and you can convert and you can have the Angela in the mid lane. So why not go with the Lolita?
It's an interesting point here. I think that the Lolita only will show itself if it's very clear that like SMG is going to go into something along the lines of like Irithel, for example, something very projectile heavy, right? But now Team SMG holding on to that priority is important. Beatrix once again, but this time they're going to put on more lane-dominant heroes. The Yuzong up against the Terizla in this EXP matchup is highly volatile.
Yeah, I think that having that Yuzong will give you really good initiation. Also, the backside.
Wait, what?
Wow, yeah. This is what we have seen from Team Triple Esports back in the wildcard, using that Terizla in the mid lane.
It's a mid lane bully. This is a fundamental spice in many an esport. And here, wow, Rosa's gonna be flexing. Is this real, or?
I'm telling you,
Is this
the Thorn Queen strikes again.
from out of nowhere? Who'da thunk?
Right? I'm still shocked. I'm shocked that they are so brave and bold to do this on the world stage here at the groups nonetheless. But let's break down these comps.
Well, they have to risk it all. They have to risk it all. There is nothing to lose anymore. Actually, everything to win and nothing to lose, because they still have a chance to go for a third match.
I guess if there was a place to do it, you do it here right now. Into the Land of Dawn we go, with the landscape of Metro Manila on the horizon as we go into game number 2. Loading up Fireflux versus Team SMG.
Till the enemy reaches the battlefield.
I speak for everybody when you go that fast in the Land of Dawn, right?
No, I find it hilarious because it's too relatable. It's like
too real.
It's too real. You know the words of the soul, and you know how to express them well. With Team SMG on blue side up against Fireflux on this red side, I am genuinely nervous, because if we're talking about the way that Stormy plays highly mechanical and now has to go with a kind of strange off-meta pick, but more importantly, so he can't push these waves against the Terizla. Terizla wins every time.
Look, the Terizla on Rosa especially, I said that he's one of those who like to play in the back side of things. He loves to watch from a distance and have his own effect. Seeing him this time play a fighter in the mid lane, this is something really strange to see, but that's what we can expect on the world stage. Having the emblems here, we'll see that both teams is nothing is out of the ordinary. They are just using the penetration in terms of the Brody, and also having Beatrix wants to actually go for the late game a little bit. She wants to use the items.
Looks like, I mean, Spoon's going to take some damage here. He's not going to die just yet, but you can see that he's pulling attention away from everybody else. Whoa, let's calm down here for a second, boys. We're not level 4 just yet. We don't want to be giving first bloods too early on, especially a minute and 32 seconds into the game. But with 26 more seconds until the turtle actually spawns, I'm realizing that this might actually be a problem for the side of Team SMG, right? Because as soon as the heavy spin comes out, there's not really much of a way to kind of disengage other than the guiding wind, which can only pull one guy.
Well, I think that at the gold lane, I would expect to see, because I've just like had a quick look at the items here, I think that both Sasa and Sunshine want to go for the Blade of Heptases, which will give them a really good start, but you can also use some of the items to also defend yourself against these heroes, because they both depend on the basic attack. So maybe the parts of the Blade Armor as well can be here at the early stage?
Potentially. The way that I see it, that maybe this could be like a half component into straight away go into a Haas Claw for the side of Sasa, just to make sure that he's still very, very healthy if he gets dived on by Rosa and even TNZ in these types of situations. I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make, especially with the Heart Guard, but we'll have to see the stat check later on, as TNZ currently level 5 and Sock's at level 5 as well, but this is kind of difficult because Miko is giving so much info.
Yep. Forcing a retribution from TNZ, but not going to respond. Now the dance begins. A minute into this turtle fight. After it spawns, there's the Black Dragon form from Smooth. As Sasha pops a heavy spin, uses the retribution, shields and extra damage on Team SMG. They did not get TNZ as he dashes on through that wall. Thank you so much, small creep. Fireflux walks away. Team SMG happy, though, with their major objective.
Nicely done, honestly, coming in from Rosa to kind of stop the follow-up from actually happening. Like, Smooth still has his Petrify. Could easily have gone to look for the lockdown target of TNZ against the wall, but still wasn't able to make it in time.
Whoa! Forcing a flicker off of Apex 47. He will live. Still no casualties here in this 3.5-minute game in already. Look at how deep TNZ is. Look at he's stealing these little camps.
Actually, Team SMG is using their arsenal just to go for Sasa. Again, as the first game, they are trying their best to farm him out to go. Oh, look, they will do it.
Sunshine! Flicker's not going to save you, son. Not after we hit you with a heavy spin and everything but the kitchen sink. Oh, that young man has a family. Apex 47 follows on through. Rose is not going to be able to save this duo down bottom. Team SMG, oh, they're feeling it.
They're feeling it. I don't know if it was like intentional that they waited to burst down to wait for the Hard Guard to completely go through so that Apex also gets stuck underneath them, or whether or not it was just I was just a little slow to follow up and it so happened to work out.
Well, I think that Apex should have cancelled the Hard Guard, because at a certain point it was so obvious that Sunshine will go down. He was just giving an extra kill and a gift, I would say, to Team SMG that he didn't even ask for.
Yeah, you know what? I agree. He should have made like a tweet from 2014 and just canceled it, man. I don't know, maybe I actually was zoned out and wasn't looking at the purple buff side of Fireflux. Maybe there were people waiting to respond, and then it was just too little too late.
I mean, there was a rotation that was supposed to be coming in from the mid lane, especially Rosa, but unfortunately, wait, hold on. TNZ is kind of deep into the sauce.
Gets hit with the Circling Eagle. Apex catches the brunt of that, and Rosa, a lot of wisps. Now Turtle spawns. 1,500 gold up. Team SMG 2-0, clearly in the lead. The Malaysians, Fireflux, have to respond. They're taking it slow. Where's TNZ? Hard Guard already spent in. Sasha holding on to the heavy spin. And there's a DPZ forcing it up. TNZ with the steal. Miko goes down. The Yujong in the skies. Ooh. And Stormy gets a kill onto Rosa. Heavy spin save for the last moment, but Smooth gonna get squashed like a lizard. Kenzie gets double. Sasha goes not in front of his family. And now Sunshine making the most of the absence of the opponent, while the last Kage does the same down bot.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Sasa knows that Alien doesn't have his ultimate in time and should be able to actually crack open bot tier 1 with no problems whatsoever, but he needs to start supplementing this, right? Mid lane's getting shoved in, top tier 1 has already fallen, Sunshine doing a really good job, and honestly, Fireflux Esports is just playing cleaner due to their communication. Team SMG kind of looked a little like funky and lost.
Grand Theft Purple too. They are the victims of Grand Theft Purple. What's going on, Yasu?
Actually, Tennessee, again, as I told you, he is the Soul Reaper. He comes in and he gets whatever he wants. He got the kills, he got the turtle, he got everything that was offered, and not even offered by Team SMG. And as you said, that was cold in front of his family. They did really nasty job against Team SMG, having everything at that moment. But I'd actually like to point out that Miko previously was annoying. And again, I would say annoying Tennessee, but he couldn't do it as the wild card because he was really annoying.
Heavy spin on a Rosa. Now Apex thinking about it. Should I or should I not? DPZ not enough. Sasa takes him down. All right, that's one way to bounce back.
It is one way to bounce back, but let's see how many more, because Smooth is losing his Black Dragon form on the top side, and that bottom side going to get shoved in as well. Whoa, let's calm down here, Miko. This man is using the Circling Eagle off cooldown at this point.
There's no goal difference actually between both teams, so far there's nothing that much to speak about instead of the mistakes that Team SMG are doing.
Sasa goes ahead and pops Apex with the Wesker like it's 2021.
Ouch, 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 that hurts whenever it comes without you even noticing. It hurts. Sasa was in a really good position and he could find himself and locate himself when there was no vision whatsoever on him.
When was the last time y'all saw the shotgun, huh? Wait, answer that later. In mid, DPZ by Rosa. Heart Guard from Apex, saving their star player mid laner. And now the Lord still standing. Smooth still does not have his Black Dragon form. Saksha holding on to his heavy spin. Can he get it down? Last turtle, who goes? It's TNZ scoring it. Heavy spin, scored already. No one getting pinned down. Rosa still good. Fireflux wins.
If he had that penalty zone there, it was a massacre gonna happen.
I mean, it's not just that. Wait, hold on. Sasa is getting actually chunked the heck out here. What happened? Even Sasa as well. Whoa!
And he's gonna lose his purple. That's it. He's gonna lose his purple. TNZ, you rogue, you scoundrel. Oh, he takes it. And now Fireflux are 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah, it's not about the goal lead only. It's not about the kills as well. It is about the domination that Team Fireflux are applying. And at this moment, Team SMG are just listening carefully to whatever Team Fireflux has to say. Going into the jungle, it's easy. Going into the backlines, it's easy. Team Fireflux takes everything.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about just like gold lead, it's only a 2.1k at 8 minutes into the game. That's honestly not that big. But then when you start considering the EXP lead coming in from the side of Fireflux on pretty much every single front, they are dominating very nicely. And this is very much in tune to what Fireflux Esports likes to do. That's why they're on top.
Here we go. Stormy stole away the penalty zone, and here they come. Heavy spin, trying to get Rosa, flickering away. Fireflux, wow, an immaculate retreat, and they're still here.
Saxa actually, every time he uses his heavy spin, what was he actually aiming for? Every time he cannot catch anyone, by the way, by Tennessee.
Miko, all right, Dash is on now, using the flicker. Team SMG clearly on the defensive.
Yeah, I think that Fireflux, what they have over Team SMG is just better communication, right? Better chemistry, better comms, because Team SMG have been anti-synergizing themselves, apparently, for a good majority of these games. A lot of the combinations that we're expecting to land does not even get close to connecting.
Yeah, the engagement, the disengaged possibility that Team SMG is having, they are not using it whatsoever. So Miko so far haven't showed us that insane play that makes Matilda one of the most banned heroes. The same thing can be said about all the members of Team SMG. Even though they have the kills, it's a strategy game after all. It's not a game about kills, it's a game about domination and forcing your brilliant ideas.
Right, now as they start walking up to what, TNZ actually has a lot of damage.
Whoa,
He's even getting a hard guard too.
We go with the Circling Eagle, knocking up 3, penalty zone. And the bravest fighter spent up already. Lord at a third of its health. And Fireflux just making space. The Turkish are going to score the Lord here. And the fight continues. Saksha gets a face full of torn apart memory. Down goes Alien. 1 for the Lord. Saksha survived, but just barely. Stormy looking to punish. Fireflux disengages. Was that a worthy trade? I think it is. They still technically won the fight.
I mean, considering that Fireflux is the one ahead, it is a lot more worth it for the side of Team SMG. They didn't get the Lord, of course, but it was never going to fall into their hands in the first place, considering the 4-level lead that Tianzi actually has over Saksa. But that could have gone a lot worse. Everybody was walking away at basically 10% of their HP.
Yeah, Team SMG at this moment, we can say safely that they are buried by that passive gameplay. Never taking any risks means that you will not gain anything. And so far, they are not taking any risk whatsoever. Team Fireflux will keep on marching with their troops, will keep on going into the inhibitor turrets. And actually, this might be a finish, even though it's not Enhanced Lord. So Team Fireflux, with all the ultimates available, with almost all the spells available, they might finish it.
Oh. This is one good thing I think Team SMG has going for them. They have good wave clear, and they're still defending outside their base. So I'd say this is far from over.
I mean, let's see how many inhibitors that they're actually able to... Oh, Miko still going. He should be getting out no problems. Yeah. But yeah, as long as Team SMG are able to kind of make sure that their inhibitors, most importantly, are still standing, they can actually start catching up in EXP and looking to contest the bigger objectives, bigger neutral objectives on the map. So keep in mind, the upcoming timer, 90 seconds, that's very important for the side of Team SMG.
Gideon, you mentioned the O word, objectives. Team SMG need to get on that train. Not a single turret, man. Own part of the map back so that they can crawl back to get more EXP, crawl back to get more gold. Smooth in trouble. Look at that long way heavy spin. The fight just breaks out like that. And now it's crashing through the collapse inside the purple buff side of Team SMG. Alien traded out for 2. This is not looking good. Sasa down to a 5th of his health. Goes for the Nibiru's Passion. Down goes Stormy. Traded out for TNZ. 3 for 2. Fireflux. They're calling all the shots. They're in the driver's seat. This is their game.
You have to pay the price. You have to pay the price. And seeing that Sunshine almost completes his items, you have to pay that price heavily. The damage is just unbearable and unmatchable. No one in Team SMG, even though the Beatrix has a gold lead over the Brody, we haven't seen Sasa's damage. Oh, we actually have 5-0-2, but I didn't see him as effective at the team fight as Sunshine was.
Yeah, I mean, he was already getting attacked pretty heavily. I think that was kind of on Smooth to go for the big follow-up. He has the Petrify, he has the Furious Dive, and he had 3 targets close enough together to actually secure that knockup. I think it could have gone, it was a good idea, but the execution from the side of Team SMG was a little on the low side. I think Fireflux, they did get a little lucky there, but they're not going to let that happen again. They've kept in mind the conditions that were set by the side of Team SMG to make that happen.
Well, being lucky wouldn't help them enough, but as again, we have mentioned how Miko was doing. Before Miko, let's see what's coming in here. Nothing quite interesting. Rosa goes back using his penalty zone and everything. And I would actually say, where is Smooth in this game? Smooth, he haven't actually showed up his Black Dragon's form ability being used to its maximum. You can take that Angela down, you can also take the Sunshine down, but so far, no dangerous gameplay happening from Team SMG.
All right, if you're hunting the Angela down, it seems to be an exercise in futility, right? That's the only real target for him is Sunshine.
Okay.
And that's a lot on Smooth's shoulders.
Yeah, not to mention that, I mean, Sunshine, he's already got the Winds of Nature, so even if he does go for that full commit, Sunshine can easily start kiting backwards.
And then get the Heart Guard in, and then punish Smooth. So that's what's been happening the past 10 minutes. Right now, that's the Heart Guard already spent in. Saksha with the heavy spin, isolating Tianzi and Apex 47. Smooth this time around going 2v2. Sunshine and Rosa answering back. Tianzi taking down Smooth. Team SMG backing off, retreating into the shadows of their own jungle. And with that, Fireflux reasserts dominance, going for their second Lord of the game. Now approaching half health. Will SMG force the contest? Looks like they're backing off. The Turkish score another big one.
Yeah, this should almost guarantee them at least one inhibitor turret with the Luminous Lord going to be able to use its passive ability to actually crack, well, technically active if we really think about it, into the inhibitor. So I think right now, Team SMG, if they had a moment to just breathe and really think about their communication, because so far it looks like the decisions are very split amongst the members. And I think that unfortunately Smooth is taking the good brunt of the damage because everybody's all over the place.
Yeah, everyone, they are not synchronized between each other, but having that gold lead and having also the Lord in your favor, and also seeing that Team Fireflux, almost all of them got the items that they need, and even actually more than the items that they need to finish the game. But going back to the point that Leo said, the Team SMG do have an opportunity to defense, having that Beatrix and also having Stormy on the Valentina.
Here we go. Lord crashing on through mid lane inhibitor. It's just a matter of seconds before Fireflux pulls the trigger. There it is. Tornapart memory spent in. Saksha approaching half health. Top lane being forced in by Alien. Bottom as well cleared. The Turkish are taking their time, slowly but surely choking out Team SMG.
Synchronized minions. I would say that's the key for this moment. Synchronized minions.
And that's a wave up top, a wave down bottom. Team SMG have to very clearly decide where their resources are going to go. Genzi already gets a hard guard in him, fighting underneath their base. Saksha very low, heavy spin committed, torn apart memory. Oh, the nub of the turret, enough to poison him into that weird position. And there he goes, Sunshine picked off. 4v5, look at Lord Smooth and Sasa and Miko forcing the issue. They're gonna take out Genzi, popping his immortality, and they're gonna take down this Joy. Where's she going? The last Kage, the killer Kage. 2 pickoffs. Team SMG still breathing.
Finally, a mistake actually being exploited against Fireflux Esports. And I mean, Sunshine, I think it wasn't occurring in his mind that the stub of a broken tower can also be considered as a structure. A little frustrating, I'm not going to lie. But it doesn't mean that Fireflux Esports is down and out just yet. It means that the gold is actually coming down closer and closer together with a real-time win rate in favor of the Turkish representatives. This might be the turnaround for the side of Team SMG to actually catch back up.
Oh, look, they're just running through mid. They have demolished Tier 1 and Tier 2. Up top, there's also a big fat wave escorted by Smooth. All right, it's looking like the map can slowly turn blue. Team SMG holding on.
I mean, you say that, but the disadvantage as well with 2 dropped inhibitors from the side of Team SMG. It's really important for them to actually hold those up. But considering that Fireflux has been dominating this hard, I mean, the next upcoming Lord, it's all about just managing the waves, kind of setting it up, letting it crash on top and mid side, and forcing Team SMG members to walk off of the Lord.
Yeah, and even with the action happening in the map right now, the Kage is still safe and sound. He haven't died 1 time so far, and I would actually acknowledge that Team SMG can now bounce back, because we have seen them pull off more than 1 good defense using the ultimates from Sasa, and also using the Saksa, not just Sasa, Saksa, to keep the minions away. But here it's the real question: will they be able to take the Lords or not?
For the first time in a long time, it's actually a 50-50. SMG contesting, Nay advancing, Lord slightly favored to their side. Lord here, a 10th of a health. In comes Alien, Genzi as well. Saksha with the clutch retribution, scoring this evolved Lord. Heavy spin, backing off Apex and Genzi. Genzi and Apex, bravest fighter from Alien, out of this world. The killer Kage, spraying down Fireflux, taking down Genzi. Stormy goes down, Sunshine gets a kill. Alien gets his immortality popped. Team SMG able to retreat under the shade of their Tier 3 and bottom. Team SMG on the board.
Beautiful kiting coming out from Sasa there. Really, really beautiful stuff. But man, Tianzi, he was gunning for that. And unfortunately, Team SMG now have a Lord on their side. Stormy's not with them, but at the very least, they don't have to worry about the dive potential coming out from Tenzi specifically, as well as Rosa and Alien, who both don't have Flicker anymore.
Remember, in the last game, there was only 1 time that SMG could have finished this, and also this is the time that Team SMG gets to finish this.
Rosa with a penalty zone coming in, spending that ult, and now they're gonna get penetrated in mid. Sasa with Nibiru's passion. Saksha with the heavy spin, pinning down Apex and Alien. They're still going, forcing the issue. Saksha dashing on through, guiding winds out. Smooth putting up a wall between his teammates and Fireflux. That's a penetration that Team SMG are happy with. They back off.
Ooh, okay, so this game is going to drag out longer. We're breaking the 20-minute mark. It is 19:43 as of right of this moment, but we can see, it's clear. Team SMG, they're playing to protect the Kage. They've got the bodyguards. They got to make sure this president doesn't go down anytime soon.
Sasa's position is actually so far remarkable. It's like that's the least word to actually express what's happening right now. It is remarkable. Having that gold lead being turned upside down, and now having the lead, even let's say the balance. So So far, I would say something that I already mentioned in the wild card. It doesn't matter anymore, the gold lead or even the turrets, because one single mistake can flip everything around. One single kill can make everything hard for whomever lost that kill. So Fireflux, they only need one move to win this game, but the same case is for Team SMG. They only need one good move to finish this off. It doesn't matter how many turrets you have right now. Just one mistake will make everything crumble down.
Oh, and look at that. Even the minions know. Even the minions know, hey, Tienzi, you've been slacking on your wave management. Let me take this tier 1. Gideon, I gotta ask you, man, past the 20-minute mark, where did SMG find this new swag? Where is this confidence coming from, man? Because earlier, I remember, they were trapped inside their own base.
I mean, they were stat checked for a majority of this game. They're like, oh, we can make a really good move here. I don't have the numbers to back it up, whether it be number advantage in terms of people or just raw stats like attack damage or even magic damage in this particular case. I think that as of right now, Team SMG are starting to kind of pull it together, right? They're getting into the later stages of the game where you have to be just a little bit more creative in the way that you play, but now we're following the simple protocols. We're protecting the president, keep it simple, let them funnel into this, and then we can start cutting backwards and really look for those big punishes rather than making that first move.
More than ever. Yeah, so you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying that there's a very dangerous thing that's happening on the side of Team SMG, and that's the wave management, because it is an issue that I think at some point maybe Fireflux will get the best use out of it. But so far we can see that Rosa is in a really good position, Team Fireflux in a good position, everyone is here. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Oh, they're gonna have to reset this Lord. The fact that they don't know where Rosa is means it's dangerous, because again, flickers off of the Thorn Queen. Penalty zone as well. Could be disastrous, but wait. The dance continues. Saksha holding his ground. Oh, gonna call it off.
Ooh, Sasa's on the top lane already. He showed up on the map. So Team Fireflux have to start something now. They either start dancing with that Lord or even taking it down. But as you said, Rosa can be an issue.
Oh, here we go. Forces the penalty zone. Saksha holding on to the heavy spin. In comes Alien. Bravest Spider spent in already. Looking for Circling Eagle. Calls it back. Lord slowly getting pulled over to Team SMG's side. And it's approaching half health. 4 members from Fireflux visible. Tienzi drawing back up. The dance continues. Lord, less than half health here. Where is Team SMG's damage source? Tienzi spots out Sasa. Lord here, less than half health this time around, taking their time. This Lord's dance going much, much longer. Saksha now reacquires his immortality. It continues. Looks like Fireflux is twice bitten, thrice shy. This game is extending for way too long. Tienzi, thinking about it. Black Dragon form, looking for the full combo.
Oh.
Tienzi scores it right underneath, and they're looking for the pop-off, looking for the kill, and Rosa gets his immortality taken out. Sasa still dealing a lot of damage. Down goes a Thorn Queen. The Queen is down. The Queen is down. Fireflux down a man. It's a 5v4. Team SMG gonna melt this Lord in mid.
Man, what a beautiful dance that was, but now it's going even deeper as they start to push
Oh,
forward!
the passive of the Lord is helping Fireflux deal more damage. Alien here, the Vanguard, the sides here, Stormy and Smooth need to pick their fights very specifically. Saksha able to survive with about 1 HP. And a Dream still here. Waves crashing through. Fireflux Esports, they smell blood in the water. Smooth and Stormy in trouble. Tienzi gets one. It's a 4v4. Lord still alive. A quarter of its health still in. Nico with a Circling Eagle. As it goes. Lord still standing. Saksha still here. Sasa dealing out of damage. Team SMG defense.
Sunshine just got his Has Claws, and even we can see that some of them have turned to use the the freeze items, but Team Fireflux, they got the chance to reposition and also reset their ultimates and also engage and re-engage again and again and again. Fireflux gets back to the driver's seat.
Yeah, this is quite a difficult game here, because as much as Fireflux want to kind of penetrate the battle lines coming in for the side of Team SMG, there's just so much counter.
Oh, Saksa!
Here we go, an early Heart Guard. Tienzi tries to find Saksa. Sasha he finds, and down goes Sunshine, down goes Sasa. 1-for-1 trade so far underneath this tier 3 in bot. This is looking good for Team SMG, but Fireflux holds their ground. Fireflux taking down the last bastion. Team SMG no longer has inhibitors. And now Stormy back on the map. He wants some action, he wants a fight. Miko coming in with a Circling Eagle, and they're dealing a lot of damage. Is this the right kind though? Heart Guard! Oh, penalty zone coming in. Stormy gets taken out. Alien still stands. Alien goes down, gets the immortality pop. Smooth here, still alive, has an immortality as well. Penalty zone coming in. Saksha and Miko still here, defending, pushing out the minions. Minions slowly walking in. Fireflux feel it. It's just Saksha and Miko left. Ladies and gentlemen, the Turkish have done it. The Turkish are going to be taking the series in a sweep.
Oh my god, 2-0, well done! Fireflux Esports really pushing the limits of Team SMG and more importantly coming out through a war of attrition. Attrition! The bodies, the items being purchased, they maxed out everything until you had no more resources. There's only one result left.
A full sweep that looks exactly like a replay from the first game, dominating the early, losing the mid game, and coming back at the late game. That's what we have just seen, ladies and gentlemen. The winner for this match is Team Fireflux. Now they get to do whatever they want, or not get to do whatever they want, but they have got whatever they wanted today. A full sweep, that's a thing in the early stage.
You know what? Maybe the commenters on my YouTube videos were right. Maybe I do not understand Fireflux. And now I've learned. Now I know. Now I know.
I have to admit, this team is truly patient. They are they can wear you out so easily with the amount of fighting, and especially with a base fight like that, especially on that defense. Oh my goodness. Should it have